Rest on Talk Real Solutions, hosted by Tyrone Thompson at talkrealsolutions.com, are the views of Tyrone Thompson and do not reflect the views of talkrealsolutions.com, YouTube, or etc. The content here belongs to Talk Real Solutions and its many contributors. Views and opinions expressed by all contributors belong to them and not talkrealsolutions.com or Tyrone Thompson, the host, or etc. All data and information provided on the site is for informational purposes only. Talk Real Solutions makes no representations as to accuracy, completeness, correctness, suitability, or validity of any information on this site and will not be liable for any errors, omissions, or delays in this information or any losses, injuries, or damages arising from its display or use. All information is provided on an as is basis.
All right, all right. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. This is Talk Real Solutions, and I am your host tonight, Tyrone Thompson. And I want to see if there's any echoes and stuff going on. It sound like I got it right this week, y'all, so I ain't got to mess with my audio like that. But welcome to the show. This is Talk Real Solutions. Today is June the 6th, 2024. It just happened to be D-Day. If you guys know what D-Day is, let me see if I got audio on the conference. That's where I messed up last week. Test, test, test. No, I do not have audio on the conference. So let me see if I can fix that. Okay, so let's see if I got audio on the conference now. Nope, I do not have audio. What the hell be going on with my audio? Hold on for a second. Let me see. Okay, default microphone. That's the wrong one. This one. So now let me see if I got audio. Okay, there we go. Welcome to the show. Like I said, today is June 6th, 2024. And today is D-Day. And for those of you who are unaware, D-Day is the invasion of Normandy when the Allied forces fought back against Hitler and the Nazis and lost a lot of lives on that beach in Germany. So y'all know me, I don't do a whole lot of remembrances and all this kind of stuff, but I think it is recognizable, especially at this time, to give credit to those brave soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines that fought to continue to allow our freedom in this country. I just gargled because there's something going on in my throat. I don't know what it is. It might be pollen or something, but I hope y'all can understand me. What's up, MJ? So yeah, I would like to talk to Sarge tonight on this day if he wants to call in, and it's not going to be pretty because it just etches in the stone etches in stone to me how dumb these people are on a day like today when we have a history of this country where people have fought, died, been wounded, maimed, and injured so we can live the way we live in America under the Constitution with all of our freedoms, with no dictator. And that's what they was fighting against in Germany, was somebody just like Donald Trump. Somebody that wanted total control. Somebody that wanted to be an authoritarian or whatever you want to call them, a tyrant. That's what they was fighting against in Germany. And that was World War II, I believe. Yeah. It was World War II when they when they fought in Germany, when they landed in Germany. Hold on for 1 second. Sorry about that. I had to handle some business right quick. Um, but yeah, these people that support Donald Trump should be ashamed of themselves, especially when America got a history like we got with young men, women fight to defend democracy and to live in a free country. And they want to hand over all that Americans have fought for to a rapist, to a rapist, to a 34 count felon, to someone who's immoral, um, someone who's just not fit to sit in that office. They want to hand over all of that because of white privilege, because they think that this country should be ran by a white male, and the only option that they have is this swindling criminal that lies to their face, steals their damn money, and don't give a shit about them or the country. You know, I think that they're dumb. I think because he's eroding the history that America has, and you know, when you talk about America, you can't leave out the military. You just can't. If it wasn't for the military, then we wouldn't even be on this freaking highly popular with millions of views blog talk right now on YouTube. You know, yeah, that was a joke, but you know, without the military upholding and defending the Constitution of the United States of America and upholding our values worldwide and sharing this burden with our allies across the world, then we wouldn't be in the predicament that we're in today. I mean, everything is not roses. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, because this country itself has its own demons that it needs to get over, especially when it comes to people that look like me. You know, but this is the best thing that we got. You know, I'm pretty sure you don't want to move to Europe because they're just as bad over there. I don't know where there is even you know, we got some of these people on the line that you know that touts the motherland, right? But if you pay attention to what's going on in Africa, colonialization has brainwashed the people on the continent to bullshit us, just like we getting bullshitted in the United States of America. You know, I watch a lot of people who join this movement to repatriate in Africa, and I'm not saying this is everyone. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying this is everyone, but there's a great deal of people that repatriate to Africa, and then the next thing you know, they're all happy with their videos and showing us how they're gonna move and what they're gonna eat and sleeping with the damn monkeys and walking through the grass, whatever they're gonna do in Africa. I don't know, walking barefooted, whatever they're gonna do. They all happy to go. And then months later, you see some of them telling us why they getting the fuck out and coming back to the United States of America. And it has everything to do with how this white man has poisoned the mind of humans across the globe, because Africans treat black Americans just like white Americans treat black Americans. They're trying to bullshit us, lie to us, use us as use the money that we make so they can, and it's all because of how the white male has fucked up this damn planet. You know, I don't think Africa would be like that if it wasn't for the invasions and the way it was conquered and the resources being stolen. I don't think they would be like that, right? But it is what it is. So my point is that America, as she sits today, was formed in such a way where there was people that gave their lives to have the rights that we have, to live the life that we live in, and they're giving it up little bit by little bit. Now, the way that you don't see that your freedoms are being taken is through these corporations, right? So what do you mean, Tyrone? So if you look at what's going on with the corporations, you can see that everything that you can put your hand on that you used to be able to afford, you can't even barely afford it now. So America's being taken over because the corporations are in the pockets of the politicians, and the politicians are allowing the corporations to rip us off at the grocery store, at the gas pump, whenever we're buying houses. They're allowing this run on America, and instead of trying to defend a fucking rapist and a felon, we should be trying to get these politicians to tell these corporations to back the fuck off and allow the cost of living in this country to be at a place to where we can sustain living and actually progress. But we can't. We can't. Because shit is so high nowadays that you got families moving back in with each other. You can barely make it on a one paycheck. If you're living on one paycheck in this country now, I don't know what you're living in, but you can't afford it. Shit is just too damn high. You can't afford it. But that's one side of it. And then the corporations are already taking over secretly. They keep us looking at damn an idiot like Trump and paying attention to all kinds of crazy stuff in the media while they just jacking us up with the shit, the clothes that you need to buy your kids to go to school, all that stuff, shoes, all grocery, all that stuff is just going up. It's crazy. You can't even afford to live in this damn country no more. You can't even afford to buy a goddamn car. A car is fucking damn near $100,000. I never thought I would see a car cost that damn much. You got your pickup truck since that's $50,000. What the fuck? You know, I remember when I was young, you could buy a decent car for $5,000, right? And it was a used car, but you could buy a decent car for $5,000. And I remember seeing $10,000 price tags on the windows and stuff like that. But I never thought I would see a car that would cost $50,000 motherfucking dollars. That is fucking ridiculous. The technology ain't changed. You still got a steering wheel, you still got a seat, you still got 4 tires and put a fucking gas tank. None of that shit has changed. The only thing that's going on is the corporation is allowed to run amok on our society in this country. And that's the type of stuff we should be concentrating on. But they got us looking that way, you know, trying to make it every day. And then politics have got us screwed up right now. Politics have got us screwed up because we're watching this fucking freak show, this clown show in Washington, D.C. every damn day that's not doing anything for the American people. That's not doing a damn thing except for fussing and fighting with each other, right? Not getting a damn thing done. Now, one would argue that the Democrat White House have passed policies and all that kind of stuff, and that's fine on paper. You know, it's fine for the stock market. That's fine for all you investors out there with the 401ks and all that kind of stuff. That's fine. But what about the average everyday person? Do they really see the change that Washington is making? You know, people are claiming that it ain't as good as what they're claiming it is. And that's what counts. How do people really feel in this country, right? So you got the corporations on one side, and then you got politics on the other side. That's just tearing us up. And in the realm of politics, you've got this fool, you got this jackass, you got this idiot, you got this convicted, got found liable for sexual abuse. You got this felon, you got this criminal, you got this person that don't give a shit about the rule of law in this country, that would rip the Constitution up and wipe his ass with it. Don't care anything about how Washington is ran. Don't care anything about the people. He tried to overthrow the damn government. So you got people looking at that. And while he's leading the charge, the entire system is falling. You've got corrupt lawyers. You've got 3 people on the Supreme Court that's supported and defended January 6th insurrection. 3 Supreme Court justices. Y'all ain't hearing me. The motherfucker, the head honchos in this country that write the rules, not write the rules, but interpret the laws in such a way to say what is and what ain't in this country, they are sitting on the top court in the country and can make decisions. Either they're going to make decisions to make America stronger or better than it was before, or they're going to make decisions that is against you and I, the real people in this damn country. And so far, we've seen what they've done. We've seen them overturn years of precedence when it comes to women's rights in this country. We've seen them gut the civil rights bill, right? We've seen them allow immunity, not immunity, but allow Donald Trump to be on the presidential ballot in Colorado when that state is telling us that this man is disqualified. What happened to states' rights? So we see what the Supreme Court is doing. We see what the Supreme Court is doing. And now, I don't know how the fuck it is possible, but Donald Trump is the leading candidate for the Republican Party. I don't even know how that happened. And he's, with his 34 convictions, felonies, I might add, he's still the front contender. There's something going on in this country that, I touched on years ago when I was, talking about how racist this country is. When I was talking about how white America don't give a damn about our community. People couldn't stand that. They would call in and tell me, ain't no racism going on. Everything that I've said is coming to fruition when you look at the Republican Party in this country and their privilege. Everything. Right down to the religious aspect taking over the minds of fucking fools. Because you can't have this kind of power without invoking some type of spirituality or some type of God-like complex or some type of... So all of this is taking place. All of this is taking place in this country, and we're watching it happen, especially when it comes to white privilege. We're watching these police officers every day take advantage of their position of being one of the enforcers of white privilege, the brown shirts, if you will, in Nazi Germany, and not being held accountable. So how is that impossible, Tyrone? Because we live in a country where they say nobody's above the law, right? And what we see the police officers doing on a daily basis consistently is breaking the fucking law, violating people's civil rights every day. So nobody's above the law. If they're breaking it, so they come up with their own shit to circumvene the fucking law called qualified immunity to protect themselves. Right? Look, see, I ain't above the law. We just made up a law out of our asses, called it qualified immunity. Now I can do whatever the fuck I want to, break the law, and then get protected by the damn law that I just made up. We see that every day. There is no way a police officer be allowed to make a traffic stop and it end up in murder. That should not be a thing in this country. There's no way a police officer could be walking down the street and get a wild hair up his ass. Just like my young man that was walking home from the store. I can't even think of his name, but they killed that boy. That should not happen. There is no way that the Karens in this damn country should be able to pick up the damn phone and call a gun to a situation and somebody wind up getting brutalized, maimed, injured, or killed. That should not happen. You should not be able to use 911 as a fucking weapon. And the consistent thing about these 911 calls that I see is no one that is making the phone call ever gets held accountable. And that's significant because nobody is holding these people that makes these false allegations accountable. That's significant because now you know that you can pick up that phone and just call somebody and something to happen that could even end up in murder or death, and you won't be held accountable. You know, it's just this country is going in such a way to where everything that I've said about white privilege, everything that I said about racism, all of this stuff that I said about religion is coming to fruition. I said one time before, because I was talking about religion, and I said, well, if the religious text, this doctrine, was written by a man, I was talking to Black Jesus Minister, and y'all say that the King James Version is an iteration, and then you say the Dead Sea Scrolls is another iteration, and then you say that the Torah is another iteration, and that is another iteration. It's the same concept with that Constitution, that somebody can manipulate it and twist it, and if the right person get in charge, then they can do whatever the fuck they want to do. I said that years ago. And we seen that when Donald Trump got in the White House. As he began to fire people in the Pentagon, he began to fire people in Washington, D.C. He began to insert his cronies, right? But because this was a first run trial, the people that he hired wasn't 100% in with him at the time. And that's probably what held the guardrails, right? Like General Kelly, General Kelly at first was proud to work for Donald Trump, but now you can't shut him the fuck up. He writing books and shit, trying to expose Donald. Well, where the fuck was you at, General? When you seen this idiot up here destroying America. I mean, these people got so much to say right now. But when Donald Trump was in charge, they was on the winning team. You couldn't, what's that dude named Michael Cohen? Everybody talking about Michael Cohen because he testified against Trump. Where the fuck was you at when he was writing you them checks, Michael Cohen? You knew what the fuck you were doing. Not only that, you've been with this man for years. And you seen how fucked up and racist he was. Now everybody want to promote Michael Cohen, right? All of these people testifying against Donald Trump that was once on his side, y'all motherfuckers lived the life with this motherfucker. Didn't say a damn thing. Every one of you motherfuckers that was in the White House with him kissed his ass, and now you want to turn around because the law really exists in this country and you getting held accountable. Now you want to sing like a fucking bird. I don't trust none of these motherfuckers. None of them. But soon as they start talking against Donald Trump, all of a sudden they all on CNN doing interviews, telling us what the hell they know. Well, it's too late for that shit. It's too late. Anyway, this country is heading in such a way to where we, in my lifetime, might see a whole, we already see a different America than when I was growing up, but we might see a whole different way of life in this country around authoritarianism, somebody who wants to be a dictator, somebody who loves and worships Kim Jong-un in North Korea, somebody who is not afraid to promote Vladimir Putin and his reign of terror in Russia. We might see this country turn into one of those damn countries. And at the same time, we're watching this media. The media pisses me off, right? Fox News, listen. This is the first time y'all gonna ever hear me give Fox News credit. But Fox News got it together. Fox News got their shit together. Rupert Murdoch knows how to do this damn thing. Rupert Murdoch knows about messaging. Rupert Murdoch knows about propaganda. Rupert Murdoch knows how to sway masses of people at the same goddamn time. Rupert Murdoch know what the fuck he doing. Now, do I agree with him? No. But it's working for him. It's working for him. The other side, the mainstream media, if you will, they so timid, they don't want to piss anybody off. Rupert Murdoch don't give a shit about pissing black folks off, don't give a shit about pissing Jews off, don't give a shit about pissing women off. Rupert Murdoch don't give a shit. He know that if you're radical in your mind, the wee little bit, you're going to follow Fox News. And that he know that, but the mainstream media, they too scared. They like to say both sides. They like the both sides shit. Right? Listen to me. That's exactly why you see the president of the United States' son on trial right now. At the same time, fucking Donald Trump is on trial. Because they like the both sides shit. If I was Hunter Biden, I'd be mad as fuck. Because my daddy can't get me off of this goddamn charge when I was stoned out on fucking crack. I was a fucking drug addict. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And I bought a fucking weapon. What fucking crack dealer or drug? Who the fuck do you know on drugs that don't have a goddamn gun? I'll wait. And now this motherfucker stuck on some bullshit charges. Right? Going through federal court. Because Donald Trump going through court. They like the both sides shit. This is the dumbest shit. Hunter Biden should not be going on trial right now. Hunter Biden should have had to pay a fine or do community service or whatever the hell. Because, yeah, you was a crackhead and you own a gun, which was wrong. But it don't cause for a fucking federal trial. That shit could have been handled in fucking, I don't know, some lower court, right? But because they both sides shit, and Donald Trump actually broke the law 34 times in New York, he's a felony. He actually got found liable for sexually assaulting E. Jean Carroll. He is actually coming up on RICO charges in Georgia. He actually took fucking top secret documents out of Washington and told the FBI to go fuck off and ain't giving you shit until now he's on charges. He actually did that shit. He actually broke laws. Hunter Biden was a fucking crackhead and he bought a gun. And unfortunate for the rest of us, he put it on video and Marjorie Taylor Greene is fascinated with showing that shit. But it's not the same thing is my point. You can't both sides that. One was the president of the United States in charge of nuclear weapons, top secrets, and all of this kind of shit. And the other one was a damn politician's son that smoked crack and bought a gun. Ain't this America? Don't the Second Amendment apply in this country? Don't we have a right to bear arms? Ain't that what y'all say? Hunter Biden was practicing his Second Amendment. He had a fucking gun. Y'all want everybody in this damn country to have guns, right? Y'all so concerned about guns in this country, you can't come up and speak against them whenever elementary school students are getting killed in this country. You so pro-gun. You so pro-gun, you have a fool like Alex Jones get on social media and lie about them children getting shot and killed in Sandy Hook. You so pro-gun that George Zimmerman had a right to murder Trayvon Martin. You so pro-gun and self-defense or whatever y'all call it, stand your ground. You so pro-gun in this damn country that nobody wants to have a conversation about guns whatsoever in this country until it's Hunter Biden. And all of a sudden, he cannot have a goddamn gun. Get the fuck out of here. Get the hell out of here. You telling me that's the only person in the country that is unauthorized to have a gun and you gonna bring him up on charges? They both sides in this shit. That's what they doing. Because Donald Trump is caught up in the system, they got to find a way to damage Joe Biden, right? So they're doing it through his family. Remember now, I want y'all to remember the build up to Hunter Biden and the secret money that he was getting. And they were going to do an investigation and come up with all of this shit that connects Joe Biden to his son, the Biden crime family, the Hunter Biden laptop. Everything on that laptop that was going to expose Joe Biden and his family for being corrupt, right? Y'all remember years of that shit, right? We had to listen to SARS come on here and do whole shows about what's on the damn laptop. We heard ABC talk about what's on the damn laptop. And all of a sudden, all y'all got him on is a fucking gun charge right now that he purchased and turned back in. So that's what you got off the laptop. That was the whole Hunter Biden thing, right? They both sides in this shit. There's charges that Hunter Biden is being going through court with now is, I'm not saying that they're insignificant, right? Because obviously there's rules out there. If you're a fucking crackhead, you can't have a gun. So that's a rule. And he should have followed the goddamn rule. But it don't call for a fucking federal court proceeding. That shit is handled locally, right? That shit is handled locally. You know, I'm pretty sure there's other people with gun charges that don't have to go to Washington, D.C. If I was Hunter Biden, I'd be mad as a motherfucker with my daddy. I'd be mad as fuck. Because you know, if the shoe was on the other foot, and Don Jr. or Eric was caught up in some bullshit like this, Donald Trump would take out his orange pen and pardon the fuck out of him. Donald Trump pardoned all these goddamn criminals. Michael Flynn, Roger Stone, Steve Bannon. Donald Trump would pardon the shit out of his children. But not Joe Biden. Because we got the both sides shit. That's why the Democrats is weak. That's why they're weak. Now, I vote Democrat. I support Democrat policies. I support even the extreme progressive policies. I'm not afraid to say that. Because I believe freedom is freedom. As long as you ain't breaking the law you should have a right to be free, right? And I'm hell bent on that because I am an African American. And people don't tie freedom to their heritage like I do. My ancestors fought to get out of them goddamn chains. They fought to get out of those cotton fields. My ancestors died and bled and was whipped and was lynched so they would not be restricted. So yeah, I believe in freedom. Probably more than the average person. But the way things is going right now, these people are conceding the core sentiments of who we are by supporting an authoritarian, rapist, a 34 count felony, twice impeached, cheating on his damn wife with a porn star, buying a porn star from Slovenia. He bought his wife, y'all. Y'all know he bought Melania, right? Yeah, that's one of them mail order brides. So no, I would not. And people don't talk about that part of Melania. But yeah, there was this guy that had models that that was showing up at the Trump gatherings and stuff like that. He had women with him, and Melania just happened to be in the lineup, right? So Trump, went in his bank account, did whatever he did, and he ended up with Melania. Our first lady is a whore. Our ex-first lady. But ain't nobody talking about that. Ain't nobody talking about that whatsoever. Yeah, I was gonna find the article. I was gonna find the article that kind of touches on it, but I don't feel like digging. But just Google it. Is Melania a mail order bride? And all the information is out there. So why am I saying all of this stuff? Well, because I started out by saying, it's D-Day. And, this is a time to remember all of those soldiers and Marines and military members that lost their life with the invasion of Normandy. There's been movies made. Saving Private Ryan is one that you guys probably can recall. And I don't know if y'all remember that scene of them coming out of those watercraft and just getting slaughtered on that beach. But that's an event that actually happened. And those people lost their lives fighting against exactly who the fucking Republican nominee is. That's the point we're bringing up D-Day. And that's why Sarge should be ashamed of his fucking self. That's why ABC should be ashamed of his fucking self. Because they both served in the fucking military. And they know the military, since its inception, have fought against the ideas and beliefs that Donald Trump and the Republican Party holds. They know that they took a oath to swear to defend the Constitution. And they know Donald Trump and the Republican Party are not for the Constitution. But as ex-military members, they've been programmed or brainwashed, just like the brown coats in Germany, to become Donald Trump's Nazis. They're his foot soldiers. They promote his message. They take his horse medicine. They do whatever Donald Trump say. And they should know better. But what I'm discovering is that once somebody is brainwashed, that's it. There's nothing you can do. It's almost like having, and I ain't talking about religious people. I know I'll just use Jehovah's Witness because people always rat on them. I don't know if you ever talked to a Jehovah's Witness, but that person is truly convinced of whatever the hell they're saying, and there's nothing that you can say to change their damn mind. The closest thing to Jehovah's Witness might be the Scientology people. These people are in this zoned out world, and their interpretation of what's going on around them is unlike what you're experiencing, right? And that's the mindset of a Jehovah's Witness. That's the mindset of a Scientologist. And that's the mindset of these orange, idiot-loving people that support Donald Trump and the Republican Party. The Republican Party in its entirety. Whenever this thing started, I told y'all that Donald Trump was going to take over the Republican Party. And the Republican Party was going to change. Because I watched it. I watched it as the first Speaker of the House, Jeff Sessions, didn't fight back. I watched it as other people in the Republican Party of significance quit the Republican Party based off of what they've seen. I watched how the Republican Party transformed. I watched Fox News wholeheartedly embrace the messaging of a tyrannical leader. I watched how they allowed Tucker Carlson to come on there and espouse bullshit against the goddamn country and repeat the same dumb shit that Donald Trump was saying. I watched how this man was in Washington for 4 years and didn't come up with one motherfucking policy. Not one to better Americans. I watched how Donald Trump mishandled the COVID virus, the corona pandemic, and allow millions of his constituents to die. That's a fact. So I knew we were heading down a road that it's going to be hard to turn around from this one. It's going to be hard to turn around from this one. And then not only that, he still is very influential in the weak-minded behavior of these fucking zombies. He's still, I mean, I have to give the man credit. He know how to find a fucking fool, and he found every damn one of them that he can find in this country. So we headed down a road that the soldiers and Marines in 1940, what was it, 1944? The soldiers and Marines in June 6, 1944 was fighting against. The Allied forces in Normandy was fighting against people just like Donald Trump and his cronies like Sarge. That's what the fuck World War II was about. To stop this type of fucking shit that we got going on in this country right now. And there's not enough pushback from the opposition. You should be screaming at the tip of your voice that your neighbor is a racist and he's an extremist. You should be screaming at the tip of your voice, my teacher fucking, my son's teacher or my daughter's teacher support Donald Trump and I don't want that person around my child. You should be screaming at the top of your voice when you go to Walmart and see a Trump hat. You should gather people around you and say, get that shit off of your goddamn head. You're an extremist. You would treat the KKK that way. You did it after 9/11 to innocent motherfucking Muslims. You did it after Donald Trump coined the term China virus and a whole bunch of Asians was getting beat up. So why is it so hard for you to look in the eyes of your oppressor and tell them that they're extremists? We see it every day. We hear it every day. And I'm telling you, this ain't gonna end well. This ain't gonna end well. And you got people, you got people like Jermaine in the chat. You know, he got this timid support for the Republican Party, right? Because he hate Democrats. That's Jermaine's deal. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. Yes, the fuck you is. Yes, you is. You are a goddamn Republican. You supported the Republican policies this entire time. And because it's inconvenient for you politically right now to claim that you're a conservative or a Republican, you want to claim the middle of the road. No, nigga. You are a Republican. And you are part of the problem by not calling out, by not voicing your opinion about how extremist these people are. Tyrone can't do it by his damn self. You don't have to become a damn Democrat, but you do have to disassociate yourself with that way of thinking. You do have to lay down those values that over the years that got this party to where it is right now. You have to stop. Whatever the fuck got you here, you got to cut that shit off at the hip. Because whatever mindset that got the Republican Party where it is, that it was the wrong step the entire fucking way. There was no right decisions that the Republican Party made that I can think of. We watched George Bush steal an election from Al Gore. Y'all remember that, right? Al Gore won that fucking race. He did. But because the Supreme Court and George Bush's brother down in Florida cheated, they stole the goddamn election from Al Gore. We watched that same George Bush take us into a war that was not even... George Bush lied about weapons of mass destruction. He had Colin Powell go to the Pentagon and give this fucking president... We watched this shit evolve. Right? And then, the hope and change came. And we just knew we was headed down the right path. But white America said, fuck no. We're going to come up with the Tea Party. And we're going to be even more extreme than we have been. And then you watch the little sergeants in ABC. Oh, yeah. 9/11 was an inside job. Barack Obama wasn't born in America. We watch these motherfuckers transform in their fucking mind to side with the oppressor. Right? When Barack Obama said that Trayvon Martin could have been him or his son, white America lost their fucking mind because this president was showing empathy for somebody child who was murdered. They lost their fucking mind. The boy was murdered. Right? And they became even more extreme with this Tea Party bullshit. They installed extremists into Washington. Right? And then as Barack Obama stayed in the White House, you had Rush Limbaugh come out there on Fox News just being extreme. You had Sean Hannity. You had Michael Savage. You had the entire Fox News, Bill O'Reilly with his racist ass. That's ABC's fucking idol right there. You had all of these people on Fox News, Laura Ingraham with her racist ass. You had all of these people on Fox News just becoming more and more extreme, feeding this shit to America. And guess what these black fucking sellouts and stepping fetches were doing? They were eating it up. You tell them. You ain't got a mama, you ain't got a daddy in the home. You need to be married. We need a nuclear family. All that dumb shit that they were reporting on Fox News to tell us how our community could be better and how to fix America. Those suggestions are bullshit. Every damn one of them. But they was eating it up. And that's what swayed you to that political ideology. All of this bullshit, this extremist bullshit that they was talking about, family values and all this kind of bullshit, obeying the law and order, all that shit that they fed you over the years. Now think about it. I said family values. I said nuclear family, 2-parent home, father in the home. I said all of that shit, right? You was eating that shit up. And you still believe it to your heart right now. That's going to make America better. And better yet, it's going to make the black community better. Right? So let's fast forward to the Trump years. Well, we can go right down to the nuclear family, right? Did Donald Trump have a nuclear family? Now, I don't know what your nuclear family consists of, but I'm pretty sure it don't consist of screwing a fucking porn star. Did Donald Trump have family values? Now, I don't know what your nuclear family consists of, but I'm pretty sure the values in your goddamn family don't consist of being liable for rape, being impeached twice, right? Being charged with 34 goddamn counts felonies. Is that what your family values consist of? What else did we have? We had nuclear family, father in the home, right? Now, is Donald Trump a representative of a good goddamn father in the home? Well, I've heard that he's been to none of his children's graduations, except for Barron. And the only time that he went to Barron's graduation is because he was sitting in court in New York and he needed some fucking sympathy from the goddamn people. Is that family values? But the point, I want y'all to follow me now, because the point that I'm making is all of these things, they put it in a big old pretty box and they gave it to whoever was listening, right? Like ABC and them. And then they brought it forward. And then they preached, they wagged their finger at our community. And they say, you got to have 2-parent home. You got to have a father in the house. You got to have family values. You got to be a good Christian person. Blah, blah, blah. They had all of this shit going, right? Knowing good and goddamn well, Donald Trump ain't gonna make it nowhere near the goddamn pearly gates. They gonna throw rocks at his ass. Donald Trump, he don't believe in Jesus. Listen, Donald Trump was selling a fucking Bible that was what you call that, sacrilege or whatever the fuck. He put the Constitution in the damn Bible. You can't do that. He don't believe in that damn book. So they gave you all of this shit, and then they give you a motherfucker, Law and Order. How did I forget that one? They always told the black community, just follow the law. Just comply. That's all you got to do. Little Don said, fuck that. I'm a gangster. Little Don ain't followed no damn law in this country in his life. Little Don don't believe in law and order. Little Don said, fuck the police. Little Don said, fuck the police so bad, I'm going to take this goddamn country on January the 6th. And he sent his soldiers to fucking do it. Little Don said, fuck this damn country. Fuck your laws. And I mean, come on. Come on. So to wrap it all up, is what I'm saying is, listen to what I'm saying, is they fed all of you motherfuckers over the years all of this fucking moral and ethical and you're above everybody else. You're law and order. You're, patriots. All of that shit, right? The Patriots is a good one because they don't give a shit about this country. All of that shit they fed you and put it in your brain so you can go and preach out there that you own these fucking higher moral grounds. The entire time, the people that are leading you don't believe in what the fuck they preaching to you. I'll give you another good example. As the right wing was telling people not to go get their COVID shots, Sean Hannity, Jesse Waters, Laura Ingraham, Rupert Murdoch, anybody sitting on Fox News, they got their damn shots. And they had y'all out here dying. That's how the fuck I know that y'all getting screwed over. Or that y'all just stupid. Or y'all just too dumb to realize when you're getting handed some bullshit. So, as Donald Trump stand on his podium and say law and order, and screaming about being held accountable, and now this is the new thing. Well, let me finish my thought. Screaming about being held accountable, they don't do what the hell they tell y'all to do ever. But the new thing is, since Donald Trump got convicted on his 34 count felonies, I've heard, I've seen people on the right saying that, you know, when Donald Trump was the president, that he would not lock anybody up. I heard him say that because Donald Trump has been held accountable, that, you know, it should be overturned by the Supreme Court because he wouldn't do that. Now, we all heard the chant of lock her up talking about Hillary Clinton. One of Donald Trump's stooges call in here and tell us how he's going to lock up Barack Obama. They don't have any criminal charges, but the idea that he was going to lock them up, lock them, is what, if there was anything wrong, if they would have found anything wrong with Benghazi, if they would have found a shit stain in Barack Obama's underwear, I'm pretty sure they would have charged him with shit stain violation or whatever, right? But because he's gotten charged with 34 felonies and he's getting held accountable in different places in the United States of America, now the Trump side is saying that they've gone too far and he shouldn't have been charged and all this kind of stuff. And for retribution, whenever he get in the White House, it's possible that he can go back and lock up his people. Now, wait. I thought you said it was too much. But you telling me when he get in power, he gonna lock people up. And not only that, we did a news story here to where when Donald Trump tried, see, I can't remember. See, I can't, all of this stuff going so fast. When Donald Trump tried to charge Hillary Clinton, he lost. He actually took out charges on Hillary Clinton. And Trump wound up having to pay the court back after he tried to have Hillary Clinton jailed. He actually did it. He actually went through and tried to have charges on Hillary Clinton. Put it on the screen right here. There it is. It's a Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton 2023. Plaintiff, Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton. So, I mean, they're lying whenever they say that they would not do the same thing. Well, it's not the same thing, so I shouldn't both sides this. They're lying whenever they say that they wouldn't try to jail someone who's on the other side of their idea politically, right? Now, that's completely different from what Donald Trump is going through because he actually broke the laws. They actually have the evidence. They have the receipt. Eugene Carroll found him liable in that sexual assault case down there in Florida. Donald Trump and, like, I don't know, 30 motherfucking co-conspirators, whatever it is down there, actually, and you had actually broke the law of Georgia. We heard Donald Trump on the phone call trying to convince Brad Rassenberg to find fucking 17,000 votes or 11,000 votes or whatever it was. We actually heard this man breaking the law and interfering with fucking politics. We heard him, and we know for a fact now due to this New York case and him being found guilty, that he cheated in the election that he won because he held information back from the people so he could get elected. That we know that for a fact. So whatever they saying out there about, Donald Trump shouldn't, no, he should be. He should be held accountable, right? And I'm gonna wrap this up. Once again, this is D-Day, right? This is the invasion of Normandy. The United States and the Allied forces, they breached that beach over there. They lost a lot of lives, thousands of soldiers and Marines and military personnel lost their lives trying to defend the world. I'm not saying the United States. The United States was defending the entire planet against someone like Donald Trump and defending our Constitution on June 6, 1944. And here we are in 2024 allowing somebody that is akin or similar or almost like Adolf Hitler and his ideologies to trying to give them the keys to the White House again. I know humans have a short memory, but damn it, those were Nazis. Those were Nazis in Germany that the Allied forces was fighting against. And whenever you look at our police on the street, they're geared up. Whenever you look at the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers and the KKK, they're geared up. And they're ready to go to war against their own fucking nation. You can hear the anger in Sarge's voice when he's talking to me. He's geared up and he's ready to go to war against their own fucking goddamn nation in this country. The people that you live with, you're mad as hell with them. Ain't nobody took nothing from you. You get to live up under the same flag and the same privileges that everybody else in this damn country do. Nobody violated you. As a matter of fact, you have more privileges in this country than anybody else. If you're a Republican, white, male, or female. So why are you angry? Why do you want an authoritarian leader? Why do you want to live up under a dictatorship? Well, I can tell you, so they can keep the heel on the necks of people that don't look like them. We hear it all the time. We hear it all the time. Keep them brown people from crossing our southern border. We do have a northern border that y'all don't give a shit about, but keep them brown people from crossing our southern border. We hear it when you hear the insults against Kamala Harris because she's a woman of color, right? So that's the underlying thing that is going on with the Republicans, is that they know that they're going to be safe. They know, well, I think they wrongfully think that they're going to be safe, right? Up on the other, because if you insert that type of leadership, there's nothing off the table. These people can do anything. Shut your damn job down, take your money, tell your children to do whatever the fuck, come into your house and actually take your goddamn guns. So these people, they just get on my, I don't know. I throw up my hands and, there's one more thing. I titled the show, and this is going to prove my point right here. I titled the show, D-Day, Little Don Don has a step and fetch. Now, I don't know if y'all seen Byron O'Donnell from Florida. I don't know if y'all heard his audio, but I'm not going to quote him directly. But he actually was in some type of meeting, and he said that black people were better off under Jim Crow, or they had it better up under Jim Crow, or something like that. I didn't quite hear it. I downloaded the audio, but it's 25 minutes, and I'm not gonna play all that. But he proves my point with what I'm saying. He is somebody who has bent over backwards, a black man, right? Who's been in trouble with the law himself. A black man that don't give a shit about this country's laws or what Donald Trump has done. But because his master has this ideology, he gonna shuck and jive and step and fetch and do anything that Donald Trump wants him to do, say anything against his goddamn people when he trying to say we was better up under Jim Crow. Do you know what the fuck happened up under Jim Crow, Byron Donald? Do you clearly have lost it. And I'm wrong for assuming that you're intelligent because you're a fucking congressman, but clearly you're not. And you get on these public mics and say this dumb shit about your own community just to appease an orange racist idiot. This is why the black people in this goddamn country, whenever they start doing this shucking and jiving like sorry doing here every damn night, I don't understand it. We have a history in this country. We was uprooted from Africa, put in the fucking the bottom of fucking ships, brought over here, made to work the goddamn land, killing us in the process, having babies in the process, getting lynched from trees in the process, and to fight for our fucking right to vote, to fucking have to hold our head down walking on goddamn sidewalks. I mean, there's so much shit that happened during goddamn Jim Crow that Byron Donald is saying that, we were better. No, we won't better. Fuck off. We ain't better off now. So how the hell is that where you trying to make America great again? That's where you trying to turn the times back to Byron O'Donnell, Jim Crow? Get the fuck out of here. Okay, so let me shut up. What's up, Miss Elisa? How you doing?
Hello?
Hey. Oh, this is Maze?
Yes.
Hey, what's up, Maze? Let me see if Elisa can hear me. You on there, Lisa? She must be on mute. But what's up?
Sorry. Yeah, I am on mute. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Okay. How are you doing?
I'm all right.
That's good. I missed you guys last week. I was in your neck of the woods. By the time I remembered, I said, well, maybe I could send Tyrone a message. But I was in hot Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
So I missed you guys last week. I'm doing okay. I just said my father's homegoing was last Saturday, so that's where I was.
Your dad?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, we're coming along. But I don't want to talk about that.
Okay.
You talking about Byron Donald? Yeah, what he said was that the black family during Jim Crow was together. The black family was strong during Jim Crow, and all of that changed after Lyndon B. Johnson. I mean, I just don't understand how, like I said, a black MAGA is one of the most nonsensical things that there is. It really is. It's just absolutely insane. And I was listening to a couple of activists, different people was giving commentary on this, and then they showed him he was on where's it, CNN? I couldn't think of the black female reporter.
Yeah, that's CNN. Yeah, that's the audio that I downloaded. That's 25 minutes. But go ahead.
And she was discussing it with him, and he was saying because the black family was together, more together, and this and that. And when you have a family, because you have to see what he's angling here. When you have a family, your mother and father, and they're working or whatever you classify as a family, that's when you work and you save towards generational wealth. So you see his angling here. That's a knockback at reparations, and the reason why, because Along came Lyndon B. Johnson, who signed the Civil Rights, uh, signed all of the civil rights. His angling is we don't have generational wealth in our community because after the civil rights and all of that was signed, we were no longer together as we was during Jim Crow. So it's our fault we don't have generational wealth. But what he's doing is wiping the slate clean for white America.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's doing. He's trying to wipe the slate clean. And see, that's why Black Maccas and these type of people, I keep reading these articles that say, because 55th said it also, an article I read, that more Black men are moving towards conservatism. No, they're not. They're not moving towards conservatism. There's nothing wrong with being a conservative. My dad was a conservative for years until when Barack ran and he switched parties. But they're not moving towards conservatism because the current Republican Party is not conservatism. It's fascism. And some of them probably never even thought about conservatism. And if you was to ask them some of the principles of conservatism, they don't know. They really don't. And I could throw Black women, I hate to both sides, I throw some of them in too, but it's more Black men. They don't really understand the principles of conservatism. You're not supporting the conservative party. You're supporting a fascist party. That's what they are now. It's like you was talking about Donaldson, and you could throw your Tim Scott and a lot of these other people. They're not looking at, or they're ignoring that prominent Black Republicans, they have to step and fetch to be accepted. That's what they're doing. So you're ignoring these fools out here, because that's what they have to do to be, accepted or to have any type of movement. It's crazy or it's nonsensical. And I've gotten to the point that I wouldn't say I don't care anymore, because no, that's not true. Because I still do care, because we have a lot of people. I have a lot of young people in my family, and you guys over here, and I care about the community. And but I just don't know what to think. I'm on. We have to hope for the best. We really do. Have to hope for the best, because I get it. I get like Black women who are. If we were always conservative, I have a lot of conservative views and things too. But if you were conservative, that's not what they are now. Not. How you can't see that your party? Because I know quite a bit of people, white, Jewish, right? That they will say they are no longer Republican. They'll say they are. They say they are conservative. And some of these people that I work with. These people have, a lot of these people are very, there's some of them are rich, some of them own this company and stuff. We're rich people. They will say they have conservative values, but they're not Republican. They don't want to claim that party. They're not Republican. And I don't understand what's going on in our community. It's too much ignoring. There's too much misinformation that's going around out here. Everybody's accepting. They drank the orange Kool-Aid, and it's like they just don't care. And then they'll throw out something. Well, why do you support Trump? Do you have a whole collective of people that are saying because he gave us stimulus? So then you say, no, he did it. He didn't give us stimulus. You all drank the Kool-Aid. You have to find out how those types of things work. But it's like they just don't care. And it's absolutely crazy. Some of these people are the people that laughed at certain white folks who vote against their best interests. Like it was a big joke about the coal miners, the black lung people, where they voted for Trump against their best interests, and they lost all of their stipends and money for their kids, because that program that Obama has set up, that Hillary said, I can't stand Hillary Clinton, by the way, and she said she was going to keep the stipends and things going for them. so their kids can go to the community college, they could get internet and different other things, and stipends coming in and health care. They had this thing set up for these people. And they voted against their best interest, and then they realized after all that stuff got cut, when Trump came into office, oh, we made a mistake. So we have a lot of our people out of ignorance and misinformation, or just plain don't care, or they like Trump because he's charismatic or because he's funny. In fact, they don't care. You all are doing the same thing that y'all laughed at the coal miners that voted against their best interest. So I just hope for the best. I don't know what to think. Crazy. That's all I
Yeah,
got to say about it.
I agree with you. And Maze, real quick, I want to show y'all why these stepping fetchers. I don't think I can say the c word too often. Speak against Lyndon B. Johnson. Um, well, like Elisa said, Lyndon Johnson. I guess he signed the Civil Rights Bill
Yeah, he
in
did.
1964. The Civil Rights Act of 1964.
Act.
The Voting Rights of 1965 and the Civil Rights Act of 1968. That's what Lyndon Johnson did. And in addition to those things, right, which made conservatives mad, it said Lyndon Johnson administration passed an unprecedented amount of legislation with much of the design to protect the nation's land, air, water, and wilderness, right? To keep Americans safer and the United States from becoming the uglier, dirtier nation. President Johnson administration also extended the New Deal of Franklin Roosevelt, including aid to education, Head Start, Medicare, and Medicaid. The programs are still significant today and that command bipartisan support for their effectiveness. They work. Why are you speaking against Lyndon Johnson and his policies, Step and Fetch? But many of his incentives, like for the arts, for the environment, for poverty, for racial justice, and for the workplace safety, angered many economic and social conservatives, and became the target of an alienated white voter and tax revolter. The reaction of his great society and to the broader trends helped spawn dramatic political polarization in the United States, and that some historians have labeled a conservative counter-revolution. So that's kind of why, or in part, why Brian Donald is speaking against Lyndon Johnson and saying that we was better off under Jim Crow, because the things that Lyndon Johnson did, white America was against. So this Step and Fetch It got to be against it too.
Exactly. Tyrone, don't leave out Lyndon B. Johnson. He was a bigot.
Oh
I
yeah.
think most people will agree on that. He was a bigot. He was. I just wanted to add that.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. What's up, Maze? How you doing?
Yes, this is, I listen to Trump, and the words that every time I think about him, I think about when he said, "I love my poor and uneducated."
Oh yeah.
So if he loved those people, you can see how uneducated they are when it comes to politics or it comes to civics. Because he said, other word, he said that he wanted to have immunity for the cops if he became president again.
Yeah.
They brushed over it and act like he didn't say it. You have to listen to the things that he say, not this media over there at Fox and Newsmax and all of the other standard channels. You listen to what he has to say. So Steve Bannon went back to jail, which you pardoned him, so he's going back to jail again. So I guess people love what Steve Bannon did with that wall, stole the money, and Trump built the wall.
Well, that ain't what he going to jail for. He going to jail for not obeying a subpoena.
Not subpoena. He's not going to.
Yeah.
But that's what he was supposed to be going to court. And so then if you look at this Congress, half of them should be in jail too because of January 6th.
Oh yeah.
Some of them they're walking around, they should be going right on. But what people are not looking at is those places where they had to recount the votes and all these things that they had to do. And then you get this number like more black people are going to vote for Trump. They better watch it. You better go make sure that you on a voter roll, because this is the tricky thing that they're doing to make it seem like black people are voting for Trump. But you can't find them except that little photo op that they did in New York with the little preachers that they got and everything. But I have a question for somebody to answer. Is Joe Biden's son running for president?
Not at all.
So what does that got to do? Because you can't be responsible for what your kids do.
Well, you know that they had to do something against Biden, and that's what they're doing. They're messing with his family. That's why I was saying. That's why I was saying in any other case that Hunter Biden would have been handled at a local level. Yeah, probably with a fine or a citation or some community work or something, but not in no federal court. This ridiculous.
That's where it comes when it says he's uneducated. So I'm saying if he's not running for president, what does it got to do with him going to court and what he got to do? If he go to jail, he just go to jail.
Mm-hmm.
If he broke the law, it's just like, but they don't turn around and think that what the law that Trump broke and all the things he did, they don't think he needed to go to jail. But they thought Hillary needed to go to jail, Obama needed to go to jail, everybody that was in that administration needed to go to jail. But then he couldn't prove himself innocent, and then they don't want to go to the other states and do what they got to do because you got them judges that Mitch McConnell sit on the bench to make it fixed so they couldn't have a trial. So if he stopped running from the law and go do what he got to do, he'll have more. He'll probably be arrested after January 6th. But no, everybody's just holding on and doing this. But I don't think he's going to be the next president.
You don't think Trump going to win?
Huh?
You don't think Trump going to win?
Well, what? I
Trump...
said he was not going to win the first time, and he certainly won't be winning this. And the next thing he'll be winning his way into a jail cell, but he's been running from him before he even thought about being president. He said he could shoot somebody and won't nothing happen to him. So when people wake up, as long as he got those uneducated ones out there, those are the ones that are rattling and are just the truth. Remember when Michael Steele said he was Obama's kryptonite? Now what is Michael Steele talking about?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All these people that supported this ideology, all of a sudden, they woke now. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah. So you have to listen. It's a few of them scattered out there to try to make it feel like it's something that it's not. And those that get worried, don't be afraid because y'all little prisoner gonna make it to the cell eventually, and they won't be hurt. And the guy that you was talking about, the one that Joy Reid whooped up tonight, he gave him his keys.
Byron O'Donnell was on Joy Reid.
Yes, and she burst. I mean, he couldn't give an answer. He don't know nothing. That's why he was sitting there talking with his cigar in his hand. Yes, she sure did. She was harried on him. You need to watch it and see what she did to him. And he could not give her an answer. Seeing them looking up in the air like they do when they over there on Fox. So y'all have a good night. Gave my opinion of what I think.
All right, Maze. Thank you. Who's this? Go ahead.
Huh? So Trump's poor and uneducated. Stay that way. You're gonna be sitting on the outside looking in.
All right. So who's this unknown caller line I just opened?
Hey, Tyrone.
What's up, man?
How are you?
All right.
Yeah. So let me just lay this out there for you. One of the things that's the problem with this current iteration of conservatism is they will never allow a strong black man to appear. Now,
that's so true. That's so true.
Yeah. Say what you will about George Bush. He had Condoleezza Rice and he had Colin Powell. Now, I didn't agree with their politics, but as black people, they were strong black people within the confines of the Bush administration. He didn't actively suppress them or block them. Although, what he did to get us into the war through Colin Powell, I don't agree with. But neither here nor there. The guy was a general, and he wasn't a bootlicker in his position. But this current iteration, never going to allow anything like that. You have to be subservient in order to make it.
I agree.
And not just subservient, because of the people that make up the majority of the MAGA base, they will never allow anyone of color to have the appearance of autonomy or independent thinking or anything like that, because you will scare off that base, and that's where your money goes. Remember, at the end of the day, this is all a grip. In order to keep your grip going, you have to keep the audience entertained and focused on the shiny things. And the minute you put a black person of power in that mix, you're going to turn off that base, and that's going to cut your money.
I agree. Thank you for saying that, because I was going to say it about strong men and strong. They're not going to lie, but I'm glad somebody else said it. I decided not to.
Yeah. You're looking at it, Simon, you're looking at it as a political ideology, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not. It's a grift. It's a grift, man. You have to look at it from that aspect. In order to keep the grift going, you have to keep the conditions for the grift right. And
Right.
those conditions are, very small amount of black people or Hispanics or anything like that, anybody of color. It's a purity thing. In order to keep those small dollar donations rolling in, you have to keep the appearance that made the grip possible going. So don't
Yeah.
look at it as political ideology. Look at it as a grip.
Well, yeah, you're absolutely right, man, because it feeds into our primitive instincts of fear, and they make everybody scared of everything, scared of people, scared of brown people, and they use that to their advantage. I don't know how it works, but okay, okay, I know I'm jumbling my thoughts here, but what I'm thinking in the forefront of my head is that
Tyrone?
humans, yes, can you hear me?
Oh, no. Yeah, you back. You had went out for a second, but you
Oh,
back.
what I'm thinking in the forefront of my head is that humans should be past that type of primitive thinking and shouldn't be so easily influenced by all these grifters out here and all of these people that's it's just crazy to watch. I don't get it. For instance, and I like Sarge, but I do not understand how a person like that can be so committed to lies and bullshit and hypocrisy and anti-patriotism and anti-constitution. I don't see how he could be so committed to that. And I think that he know better, but he gets on here and yells and screams. I don't get it. So
I do.
who's this
I
line?
I
do.
do.
I get it. Yeah.
I
And I
get it
think it's
too.
very clear. Yeah.
What's going on?
You
Yeah,
but
I get it too. I get it too. Go ahead, Joe. What
yeah,
up?
yeah, yeah. Trump allows the crazy and the evil in you to be acceptable. Anytime you have a guy that basically says we can grab him by the punani and all those other things that he says that folks will write off as joking, those are the dark things that are only spoken about in quiet places. And he's made that acceptable in the public eye, in the public image.
Hmm.
So, in order, Sarge, the price to pay to be the asshole he really is, and I'm talking about Sarge here, he'll buy into MAGA completely because it allows him to be that asshole in public. Whereas in a normal world, you know, that asshole part of him, he has to keep hidden because he didn't want to turn people off. But Trump has opened the door to allow people to be their darkest sense of self and be accepted publicly by it. Look at his supporters. Listen to what they say when they interview them. It allows that inner racism or that inner, narcissist or the inner, grifter to come out and be socially acceptable. So yeah, if the price is subscribing to MAGA, why not? Look at Margie Taylor Greene.
Wow. Just that lady. So common sense be damn, huh? So fuck common sense, huh?
Yeah. Common sense be damn.
Hmm. What's up, Jay?
All right, all right. I mean, I was just thinking. I said, I mean, it's not that hard to not understand, but believe what's going on in the sense of believe what people fall for, because there's people that believe in something invincible that they've never seen, and they worship it every day, and some people fight for this thing that's invincible. Some people has physically killed person, a human being, because of this invincible person, and that person that they believe in that they haven't seen is God, right?
Mm-hmm.
So whether and again, you could debate whether it's physically real or not. I'm talking about we all know that a person, a human being, has not seen what God is or what everybody claims it is, right? So if you have people fighting wars around the world, killing in the name of this God that is invincible, I don't see it any or how hard, complicated to believe that human beings will fight for a human being that they consider a God symbol or a God-like symbol because of their the strong belief system.
Yeah.
So if you get somebody to believe in something so much, whether it's intelligent or not, you might get the person off rail. They'll do almost anything for that person. Look how people, when they get addicted to drugs, that might be a physical thing. So a lot of people say it's physical and mentally. Some people say it's mental. Then there's some drugs that they say it's physical. But there's people that will go to far lengths to get that drug. Might kill for the drug. So I'm just saying, I think that there's people out there that fall easily into this category because we got a bunch of people around the world that believe in something invincible that they haven't seen, that are willing to even kill for or die for in the name of this thing that's invincible. So having a physical thing or person to be able to identify makes it even more possible for those people, I would say. I'll leave it there. Something to think about.
Well, yeah, I agree with you, man. It's speaking to that primitive mindset again, too. And it probably easier for a human because you're here in the flesh, and people see you and they can follow you and believe in you and all this kind of stuff, no matter how ridiculous it is. Um, and we know that Donald Trump is ridiculous because after all he said and done, none of these people that went to jail for him has he reached out and helped out. Not even his lawyer, Rudy Giuliani. Now I seen him do some fundraisers for Rudy Giuliani, but I mean, with the kind of money they say Donald Trump got, I mean, Rudy Giuliani shouldn't be in no trouble at all. You know, yeah. So I get what you're saying about them believing humans, having that vulnerability to believe in just for whatever reason, believe in anything. You know.
They want to believe in something. That's what it is. They want. I don't know why they picked that dingbat. But if somebody had told me, say, 15 years ago, Donald Trump is a person I never liked. I never could stand him. That he he might be the catalyst to tip this country over a cliff. I don't think he's gonna win. I think more people, hopefully, more people are gonna wise up. But just like, because I was saying, they were saying some, I was reading some articles that a certain amount of Muslims, and they're even Palestinian Americans, that they were considering we're going to vote for Trump because as crazy and the insanity of that is absolutely. But see, they're not listening. They're not listening to anything. They're not researching. They're not reading anything. They're just going by. And I saw a couple of articles today that Miriam Adelson, that real rich Jewish woman, her husband, I forgot when he passed, because he basically bought Donald Trump when he made it for Israel to be the
Oh
capital
yeah, where they moved the capital.
Jerusalem.
Yeah.
Yeah, he basically paid for that with the donations. I think $100 million or whatever he gave to the campaign for, and his wife. I think Trump is desperate. I don't know if she's giving the money, but from the articles it's saying that she wants that what she wants for that money, or she wants the West Bank to be annexed.
Wow, that makes
And
sense.
he give them that, and she gives him that money. I think it's 100 million, 105, 150 million. Don't quote me on that, but it's 100 million and whatever. That's what she wants. And don't think when people are giving that, it should be against the law to give that. It is, but you know how illegal bribing and things like that. For one to give that kind of money to a campaign because you're buying something. You're trying to buy something. So why would any self-respecting Arab support Donald Trump? Why, like, I forget what state it is. Is it Michigan, where they're talking about they're going to sit the election out and they're not going to vote, the Arab community, because of Joe Biden's handling of Gaza
Yeah, that's
and all
that's
of
wrong.
the horrors going on in the West Bank? Trump is trying to get a payout, and he's talking about once he gives the go ahead to put the foot on the gas pedal, Gaza's gone. They want that land. They want those minerals out there in their water, and the Idlesons and the rest of them, they want the West Bank annexed. So you all are gonna sit that out? Just go sit that out because you're mad at U.S. policies that Joe Biden is following. Now, I'm very upset with Joe Biden over this because he claims to be a devout Catholic. You're not supposed to put your job before you for what you know is right, but it's still U.S. policy. And y'all know Trump gonna wrap that thing up real quick once he comes. If they still, hitting and missing and knocking and back and forth with that war, with that slaughter war over in Gaza. Trump is gonna have them wrap that up quickly, and he gonna get the rest of those. He gonna have they can get the rest of the Palestinians out of the West Bank. So y'all gonna sit that out because y'all gonna sit the election out. As bad as Biden is, Trump is going to ramp if they still hitting and missing at it. Like he told them, wrap that up. It was like the Israelis need to go ahead and wrap that up, that war. And when he get in, he gonna put the gas to the pedal. He's gonna put his foot to the gas. He gonna put the pedal to the. Anyway, he's gonna have them wrap that up. And you all are willing. That's why a lot of people who are pro-Palestinians, who's been that for decades, and now that more people know what's going on with that, because a lot of people didn't know, really haven't a handle on that until this particular slaughter war broke out. And more people finally took the time. Well, they've been fighting back and forth for years. What exactly is going on over there? So more people got a better idea. I knew some, and I had an idea. I had the basics of what was going on over there for decades. I was always supportive of the Palestinians, was hoping they would get their state, and some of that stuff could calm down between the two. And then after the like with Egypt or was it Jimmy Carter, the peace accords, the Camp David peace accords between Egypt and Israel, we're just letting them just do whatever they want. They breaking that. They breaking the agreement when it comes to that. Do whatever they want to do. Now that a lot more people understand what's going on over there, have a better understanding. I had an understanding, but I know more. I took the time to find out. People are just like, I'm going to vote for Jill Stein. I'm going to vote for this. I'm going to sit it out. I'm not going to vote for anybody. Well, if you are pro-Palestinian and pro their rights, and you are against an apartheid state, sitting it out doesn't make sense to me. As bad as Biden is. Now, will he change course? Who knows? Probably not. But that gives us 4 more years to see if we can get something going. So I don't understand, especially the Muslim community, I understand. As I said, we just going to sit this out. Well, y'all, you sit this out, you're allowed to get all them people killed over there and get the West Bank wiped out too. That seemed like a cohesive and a smart plan to me. And said, well, we have to vote Green Party, we have to go third party. Yes, if we had a viable third party, we don't. American citizens they talked a good game about that. I remember hearing that since I was little. They've always talked a good game on that, but they have never really the people have gotten serious about building up a third party. They never were really serious about doing it. And y'all think voting third party is going to do something now? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's silly.
And yes, it's not going to do anything now. And they said, well, it's just I'm just going to do it because I'm taking a stand out of protest. I did that when Trump was running against Hillary because I had the room to do that. I was able to do that. It was the state that I live in. I knew I can't stand Hillary Clinton, so I said I was going to take a stand. I was not voting for Hillary Clinton. And I didn't, that was the one time that I didn't vote the top of the ticket. I voted the bottom because I could do that because the state that I live in is like navy blue, okay? So I knew my state was going to go straight to the Democratic Party because I did not want Trump. Oh, God, no. But I know that the Democratic Party, Trump is not going to get the states that we were like one of those states that's, you know, I would have had to make a decision. But we're not a state that's kind of like up for grabs. We're not that. We are a state that's navy blue, and the Democratic Party was going, and I'm not a Democrat, was going to get the electors, was going to get that. I knew that. So I was comfortable in, I'm going to take a stand and not vote for either of them. That's the only reason I did it. But if I lived in a state that's really kind of up for grabs, that's magenta, no, I would have went on here and said, what about, because not Donald Trump, what about Hillary that she's saying that I'm gonna vote for that I want personally? And that's because I can't stand her. I hate to say this, but I was happy she lost. Oh no, but I was able to say I'm a protest. I'm not voting for either because my state was going to be blue regardless of what I do. It was going to be blue. I know a couple of other people who did that. They said I'm not voting for either one of them that live here in Maryland. Maryland's blue. Maryland will probably always be blue. So I had that leisure. But now people talking about sitting it out on third party.
Yeah, they're just giving it up. They're just giving America up. And I don't think people understand how close we are to losing whatever we have here.
They
You know.
don't.
Yeah.
They don't. And I am on the side. I want peace over there between Gaza and Israel. I want that war to stop. I want that slaughter to stop. I wish they could do a two-state solution. Who knows if that will ever be a thing? I doubt it. I am pro for their rights. Israel is apartheid state. All of that stuff needs to go away. But I'm not willing to throw away what life I have left. And for the young people in my family, this is going to sound harsh. But I'm not willing to throw all that away because of Gaza. I'm just not. But I'm an ally. I want them to stop that. But I'm not saying I'm not going to vote at all because I have no. I'm not willing to throw everything away over Gaza. Them people been fighting for a long time. Them people have been oppressed. The more people need to get serious around the world to see if we can do, if something can be done. We do something with the United States government for their loyalty for a bad ally. They keep saying for their number one ally, but they are a bad ally. They're a horrible ally. And I'm not willing to throw away everything because of this slaughter war.
Yeah, I think the United States should be more forceful against Israel for what it's doing to those civilians over there.
They need to kick them to the curb. They are not an ally. What have they done for us lately? They're not an ally of ours. We're an ally. No, we do what they say. We do what they say. They running this over here. So, when you hear about that Project 2025,
yeah, I heard about that.
It's scary.
Yep.
And I'm not willing to throw everything away because of what's going on in Gaza. If it's something I can do to protest, to this, to that, they tell everybody, we're going to boycott these companies and different things like that. That has business and different things to do with Israel. All of that, I'm down for all of that. But I'm not willing to throw away my life for it. I'm just not. It's not hopeless, but it kind of looks hopeless. But I'm not willing to throw away my life for it. Maybe I mean, that's the ultimate sacrifice. We're supposed to throw our life away and say kick Biden to the curb and let it go down and be whatever it wants to. And that's what America deserves. True, that is what this country deserves. But I'm thinking about my life and young people in my life, in my family, people I know. I ain't willing to throw everything away. Not just yet. Not yet. I don't think not ever.
Yeah, and I don't know. It seemed like to me I had a little hope that Trump going through these courts and all this kind of stuff and getting charged, that people would change their mind,
You,
but they're
I
doubling
did.
down. So I'm like, okay,
I
well these
did.
people nuts.
They are not. And to see black people supporting him and wanting a rich orange man to get off for crimes they committed. Now you know that's crazy, Tyrone. But you know they put us under the jailhouse for less. And
Oh yeah,
black folks talking about Trump is right. There is a two-tier justice system. Yeah, no kidding. Yes, it's a two-tier justice
yeah.
system
Black people been
for
saying that
everybody.
for
Yes,
decades, but now all of a sudden the two-tier justice system is against white America. That's some bullshit.
against Trump, and they take our stuff like woke, and now he's like, but there is a two-tier justice system. Yeah, of course there is, but not in the two-tier justice system. Not for you. You still getting off light with the
In
stuff
his
that you're being
favor.
charged
In
with.
his favor.
Well,
That's
he
what he's not
literally
saying.
he literally is the
It's in
only
his
person that I
favor.
know is above the law because Trump has not been
And
held
complains
accountable.
about the law.
Yeah,
And complains about the law.
he has not been held accountable to date. Yeah, he got
But
some
but
felony
listen,
charges, but I don't
That's
think
what
that
it
he gonna go
is.
to jail.
That's what it is that he hasn't been held accountable. We keep complaining about it because they ain't do nothing to him. He's like, man, I mean, the dude is incredible, man. I mean, he says it's a two-tier but doesn't know what that other tier is. He's never experienced it, and you know,
he
I mean,
never
he's
experienced that.
experiencing luxury. He's lucky. He said, damn, you know what? For me being the president, if he does his research, if somebody real that talks to him says, you know what, Mr. President, if you was an average person, you would have already been in jail. You know, that would have try to humble him a little bit, but it doesn't matter to him. So, you know, he's still complaining. He's a victim. But this is the weird part about him. He's the victor, but he's the victim. He tries to pump his chest out, but as soon as they punch him in the chest, he starts
His
crying
victim.
as you know, a victim. Right? He's the one talking the loudest. He's the one that poke you in your face, poking your eye with his finger, and then you punch him in the chest, and then he caves in and he complains. That's
But
what's happening with the law, not physically. So for people that don't understand, you know what I'm explaining is again the law is now taking a little effect on them, a little effect, not a lot, a little.
Just a little.
That's it.
Just a
Yeah,
little.
when he went to go to court, that was something that you could say, oh, okay, you know, he did some. That's something that the law made him do. He had to get up in the morning and go to court, whether he wanted to or not. He had to get his ass up and be in that courthouse at a certain time and sit there through whatever. Now, everything that happened in between and out and everything, him coming out, yelling and complaining in the beginning, he got away with a lot. He, with the talking, the gag order, they told him he still got away with it. I don't think anybody, the first one bad thing you say about a judge, it'd be a person of color, they'll be locked up, and that's it.
Yep.
No questions asked. And then you
what
tell
I
them, oh well, white people, they treat white people like that. They don't give a fuck. And that's what I'm saying. Like, understand what it is. He gets the special treatment. You don't. You want to put your flag up, blacks and Hispanics and Asians that think, oh well, he's with me. Well, take the fucking jail time for him. If that's the case, take the jail time for him. All right.
It's just
or
crazy.
whatever punishment they're gonna give him.
And poor white folks too, middle class white folks, they would have your ass up under the jailhouse too.
Hell yeah.
Some of that stuff. And y'all sitting up here stomping and supporting a rich orange man. Talking about he's a kind of two-tier justice system. Woe is folks. That is just crazy to me. Especially when black people do it. They'll put regular white people up under the jail. But what Trump did, they'll dig a tunnel up under there and throw the black folks.
Yep.
But he got everybody bored. People was like, well, 50 Cent said he's supporting Trump. 50 Cent wants them tax cuts. Are you all crazy? It's about the tax cuts for him. But the thing is, if they're able to, what is all that noise?
I don't know. Probably Joe working. Oh, that ain't Joe. I don't know who that is.
But
Go
if
ahead.
they're able, like say if he was to win in Project 2025 and all of that, they were able to do a lot of the things that they want to do. The thing about people like 50 Cent, he probably has voted once or twice, if that, his whole life. If we were to ask him what is the branches of government, couldn't answer it. If we was to ask him who was fighting during the Civil War, probably couldn't answer it. These are people that never had anything to do with politics. But he's looking out for himself. He's a rich man, and he's thinking about them tax cuts. And the rest of the people who are not even looking at that. And that's what some of these rappers that's coming out talking about. They want the tax cuts, whether they rich or not. They thinking it will help them. These people don't even know how government works. They don't even know how government works. They don't know the branches. They don't know anything about how government works. You see them when they up there on that, like the vloggers and stuff. If you were to ask them some simple questions,
they don't know what the hell's going on.
They don't know what's going on. They just know they like Trump, and he talking for the simple man. No, he's not. Even though he's not as wealthy, as he claims to be. He's still rich.
Yeah, he got power. I have to take that away. I have to concede that he do have power. Clearly, he has power.
And he's pulling a grift over on you all, and you drank the Kool-Aid. And it's not that we're not saying this because the Democratic Party is all great, because they're not. Half the people up there on the Hill, they're bought and paid for by lobbyists. Big Pharma, APAC, and all of them, they're bought and paid for too. They do the bidding for them, the donors. They're not doing the bidding for the people who voted, elected, sent them to Washington. They do what the donors tell them to do. All these legal bribes that's going on. And then when you tell people, well, what about the bench? I said this to a stupid cousin of mine. You're not concerned about the bench. If Trump gets the bench is already lopsided till it's hanging over. What about that? I said, what do you mean by the bench? I said, SCOTUS. You're not concerned about more appointments? That the thing, you might have two little left-leaning, and the whole thing, they're going to undo so many things in this country that you all take for granted. You're not concerned, well, what's SCOTUS? What's that? See, stuff like that. It's like, why are you voting? But you don't want to say that because everybody has the right to vote. For these people, they don't understand nothing. And when you tell people, again, about the stimulus check, Trump didn't give you no stimulus check. The Congress did that. And it took a lot of back and forth and deal making for the Democrats to get the Republicans to push those things through. They didn't want you to have it. And then somebody told him, sign, have your name printed out on people who's getting the check. Have your name printed on the check and tell the people that I gave you those checks. No, he didn't. The House did that. And all he did was sign off on it. He didn't give you anything. And then they go, well, all I know is that they don't care because they don't want to know the truth. They just want him because he's funny. They need to start teaching civics in school. I don't think they're still teaching civics in school anymore.
Yeah, America is just, I mean, I'm not the best educated person in this country, but I can tell that the education level across the country has dropped. So they just don't know just common sense stuff and when they're getting duped by politicians. There ain't nothing we can do about the politicians duping us except for not vote for them. But they so dumb that they're gonna vote for the politician that is crooked. I don't. and I don't know for what reason. Like, why? What do you think you're going to get out of it at the level that you're at? Donald Trump is never going to say anything or do anything for you. You know, I don't get it.
But you know what? He could win the election and get a lot more black people if he was to lie. But he wouldn't. He's not gonna do this because of his base. But his base believe anything he says, right? So he might can say this, and they be like, and they just ignore it because they ignore other things that he says. But this will perk up black people.
I wouldn't put it past Donald Trump if he started politicking on giving black people reparations, not intending to do it. Not intending to do it at all, but use it in a political speech. People, just lie to him.
He's lying.
Yeah.
He's lying, and because his base don't listen to what he says, they just go by what. And if Fox News, Newsmax, and all those other things, if they don't say anything about it, that he said that, they won't know. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So they won't know that he said that. They'll say it's a lie. But stupid black people will hear that, and they will say he gonna give us reparations. And no matter how people say that they blue in the face, no, he's not. He's lying. He lies 24/7. They will believe it. And more of us will drink, not more of our community will drink the Kool-Aid, and they will vote. I'm surprised he hasn't done that yet. Because his base won't know, because they don't listen to what he says. That's what, if he really want to sew it up, say that.
Yeah, I mean, but see, I guess I just thought about it. I guess if he did publicly say that, then that would turn a lot of his supporters against him, because that's the last thing they want to hear. You don't think so?
His base doesn't listen. No, his base doesn't. We just got finished saying his base doesn't listen to what he says. And if
well, they got to believe in something. What you mean they don't listen to what he said? They got to believe in something.
Yeah, they believe in him. They don't believe in whatever he say. They don't care. They don't care. Man, he's a symbol.
Well, that's a new level. That is a brand new level.
Listen, God never spoke to anybody, right? I mean, they say they speak to him in the brain, you know. And again, I want to get religious, but I'm just saying the whole mindset. I'm not saying the people that actually do it. I'm saying that this is what is explained. People that I'm not saying the actual people that do it. I'm saying people that speak about this, and people in religion say they worship something that it's you know, they have pictures of what Jesus is, or you know, they connect it to God. They show this light, but they never had a conversation. I mean, again, some people say they had conversations. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the other witnesses that could be in a room will say, well, I didn't hear it, only you did, right? But there's people that believe it, and they will do things beyond what man would think.
Well, that's a new level of stupid right there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's now he's talking, but he's just a talking thing. They could just see him talking, and maybe they don't even understand. They're like in a cloud because they're so fascinated by him. He's like, wah, 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 wah. You don't even know what he's saying, but they love him. He's the symbol.
Yeah.
He's our orange. He's our orange. You know, tangerine. You know, he is the. You know, that he's their man. He's their man, bro. He is their man. He complains. He'll insult somebody today, then they'll assault him, and then he'll play the victim, and they will support him. And then people on the other side say, well, look, I thought he was a tough guy. He was this, but then he's complaining and he's a victim. They're not hearing that. They're saying, not with our Messiah, not with our Trump. You guys are picking on him. Look at what ABC does every Saturday. He said, look at how they're trying to treat him like he's a victim, like he's a little girl. ABC should be his number one cheerleader with Sarge, because they sound like women defending their man. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Stupid women. But Tyrone, you said that when he said that he never said lock Hillary Clinton up. I saw all you watched.
Yeah. I seen him say that.
Pages and stuff, and he said, "I never said that though. Whatever it was." And they was like, "No, he never did. He never said that. He never said that."
Well,
So
they got every
it
they got every video out there in a montage of every time he said it. So
doesn't matter.
yeah.
It doesn't matter. He said he didn't say that. So they go along with that. And I saw a video where they had this was at it was at a MACA rally, and they were saying, well, if they were saying as far as like you want this should be a Christian nation, because Donald Trump said that it's a Christian nation. So they was asking the MAGA people, is this a Christian nation? So those who are not Christian have to leave the nation. A lot of them said yes, and
Wow.
some of them who said yes, they said, well, where will his grandchildren go? And they said, what do you mean, where will they go? They said they're being raised Jewish. And a lot of them didn't know that. They didn't know that two. Well, I don't know how many children his daughter has. Two. I think they had two. They're being raised Jewish.
Yeah, Kushner
And
is a
then they
Jew.
was like, yeah, and those children are being raised Jewish. And they was like, well, anyway, and then they, because they got caught. You could see them get a clue in the face, and then the clue left. And then when some people, when they ask, well, what is his grandchildren gonna do? Where are they gonna go? They have to leave too. And when they asked, they said, because his grandchildren are being raised Jewish. And they were like, oh, well, they have to come up with something else. But yeah, this should be a Christian nation. So people ain't listening. They don't know what is going on with this. They really don't know. They didn't even know that his son-in-law is Jewish. They do not even pay attention. All them immigrants he's fussing about, they work in his hotels and at his golf courses. They don't know. They don't care.
Yeah, and with the immigration thing, I keep trying to point out that Melania did not come over here legally. She just didn't. They got her some kind of Einstein visa, or whatever that she didn't qualify for, and she got it because her association with Donald Trump.
And her family, then her mother and father and them, they over here too. So, and I don't mind them being over here, but if you're gonna rag on all the rest of them, well then them too. And if this is gonna be a Christian nation, what is his grandchildren gonna do? Well, they gonna have to leave. I mean, it's just so much crazy. I mean, these are people who are voting. These are people who are voting. They're out here deciding, and then other people, well, I'm not going to vote. But do y'all not see these people over here who's voting? Do y'all not see these people over here who is actually, they're gonna do their right. They're going to vote. Are you talking about I'm going to sit it out because it doesn't matter anywhere? You going to let them decide for you? That's the crazy part. That's what's so crazy. But I don't think he's going to win. I don't.
Well, I don't think he's gonna win either. But I was looking at the court cases for Jack Smith. They got that on pause forever, and then they got the one down there in Georgia on pause.
But that wasn't
I'm
going to
trying
make
to
any
shut that
difference.
down.
It wasn't going to make any difference to his base anyway. So I'm at this point, I don't even see whether it matters or not.
Well, I was looking at it from the perspective of how much power he got, and getting these things postponed.
Delayed, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he might as well have let him to take place because it's not going to make any difference to his base. It might make a difference to some people, but it's not going to make any difference to the base. What will make a difference, people have got to start listening to what he says. That's what they have to start really listening to what this man is saying out of his mouth. There's a lot of noise in the background.
I don't know what that is. It ain't my phone.
It's not mine. I don't. Jay, is that your phone?
Nah, that's if you hear me, I'll mute.
This is what I'll do. I downloaded that Joy Reid audio that Maze was talking about because I wanted to hear it. So is it all right if I play it now?
Throw it on.
Play it.
Okay, so here it is.
Some recent comments by Florida Congressman Byron Donalds have been condemned by House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, the Congressional Black Caucus, the chairman of the Democratic National Committee, Jamie Harrison, and the president of the NAACP, Derek Johnson, just to name a few. In those comments at an event designed to help Republican outreach to black voters in Philadelphia earlier this week, Congressman Donalds made what certainly seemed like positive comments about the Jim Crow era. And he claims his critics are missing the context of what he said. So here's the context.
I grew up with my mom. My dad and my mom, things didn't work out. As an adult, I look at my father and I say, bro, I don't know what happened, but you my father and I love you. Wow. I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. Wow. But I'm gonna tell you this, growing up, the one thing I knew I wanted to do, and this is not about my father, this is about what I wanted to do, is I wanted to be a father to my son. Wow. And so one of the things that's actually happening in our culture, which you're now starting to see in our politics, is the reinvigoration of black families with younger black men and black women. And that is also helping to breed the revival of a black middle class in America. You see, during Jim Crow, the black family was together. That's right. During Jim Crow, more black people were not just conservative, because black people always have been conservative-minded, but more black people voted conservatively. And then H.E.W., Lyndon Johnson, and then you go down that road, and now we are where we are. What's happened in America the last 10 years, and I say it because it's my contemporaries, it's Wesley's contemporaries, you're starting to see more black people be married in homes, raising kids. It's when you home with your wife raising your kids, and then you look at the world, you're saying, now wait a minute, time out. This does not look right. How can I get something to my kids? It goes back to the conversation of generational wealth. Not just having a job, generational wealth.
I am joined now by Florida Republican Congressman Byron Donalds. Congressman, thank you for being here. We played that lengthy segment. That is what you posted on your social media. The part of what you said that people take issue with is this line, which I'm going to read back to you again. You see, during Jim Crow, the black family was together. During Jim Crow, more black people were not just conservative. Black people have always been conservative-minded, but black people voted conservatively. But it is that during Jim Crow, the black family was together. That's what people have taken issue with. What are they missing?
Frankly, what's really happened is that you have, Democrats and you have the Biden campaign, and some of the media want to twist my words for political purposes. The overarching issue is talking just about black families and why you're seeing a trend of black people leaning towards Republicans in this election cycle and probably in election cycles to come. And part of that, and part is that when you're raising families, raising kids, etc., you're now thinking about all of the public policy issues, all of the economic issues, all of the education issues. And that's leading people to have divergence in political thoughts. That was the only point. The stuff that comes up about Jim Crow and twisting my words, saying I was being nostalgic or saying that Jim Crow was good for black people, that's all political spin. It's a lie. It's gaslighting. And that's truly unfortunate.
So here's the challenge, Congressman. You started out talking about your family, talking about your mom, talking about being raised, and you on your own brought up Jim Crow. In fact, you said Jim Crow 3 times for emphasis. It wasn't the media or the Democrats or gaslighters who brought up Jim Crow. It was you. You brought up Jim Crow. So why did you use Jim Crow specifically as your reference? You did that. No one else did that. You did it.
Oh, I did. We were having a conversation, just talking as, black people in Philadelphia. But if you're going to use the chronological timeline of America before the Great Society and Lyndon Johnson's time period, you had, unfortunately, the Jim Crow era in America. During that time period, the marriage rates of black Americans was significantly higher than any other time since then in American history. So it is a divergence if you're talking about marriage rates in the Black community. They have plummeted. And what we've seen recently in America, which is a very good thing we should all celebrate, is that the marriage rates in the Black community are rising again. That's good for Black families. That's definitely good for Black children. It's something I want to see. I'm quite sure you want to see it as well.
Okay, let's talk about that. Jim Crow lasted roughly from 1867 after the Civil War to 1968. Is there a specific period between 1867 and 1968 that you thought was this golden era for Black families, or a time that was good for Black families?
Joy, I never said that. And see, this is where the gaslighting comes in.
I'm going to read what you said.
All I was talking about was the marriage rates.
Stop. No,
Joy,
that's not what you said. Let's play what you said. Play what he said. Play what he said.
Families. You're saying I said it was the golden era. I never said that.
I'm going to play what you said.
I said that it was better for Black families. I never said that. I said
play what he said.
Play what I said.
Play what he said.
During Jim Crow, the Black family was together.
That's right.
During Jim Crow, more Black people were not just conservative, because Black people always have been conservative-minded, but more Black people voted conservatively. And then HEW, Lyndon Johnson, and then you go down that road, and now we are where we are.
Okay, so now I'm going to go back. You said during Jim Crow, the Black family was together. What was the authority of the Black father in the Black family during Jim Crow?
Get his ass, Joy.
Well, listen, under Jim Crow, obviously, Black people were under great persecution, unfortunately, by Southern Democrats and the Democrat Party overall in the history of our country. That's the fact. And so, well, let me finish now, Joy. And so having the Black man in the home was about first protecting the mom and protecting the kids. Incredibly important. It was the leadership in the home, which is incredibly valuable. And I think what we're witnessing, obviously the last 30 years, definitely through my generation, is Black fathers being at home is incredibly important for the success of Black children going forward. And it's not just a Black thing, that's everybody. Fathers in home help to breed success for kids moving forward. That is a great thing for our country. That's something that has been proven throughout time. So what I'm talking about is not the golden era of Jim Crow. That's ridiculous. I would never say that. And that is the gaslighting that I'm standing up to, because that's what Hakeem Jeffries, the Biden campaign, Jamie Harrison, and the like are trying to bring up. And unfortunately, the media has followed suit with misleading headlines, and that's wrong.
Now I'm going to talk. Do I have a chance? Good. Now, you talked about the Black father being in the family, being able to protect the family. First, I want to read, just for our audience, the definition of Jim Crow, just so we all know what we're talking about. Jim Crow laws were a collection of state and local statutes that legalized racial segregation. They existed essentially from the post-Civil War era. They were meant to marginalize African Americans by denying them the right to vote, hold jobs, get an education, and other opportunities. Those who attempted to defy Jim Crow laws often faced arrest, fines, jail sentences, violence, and death. Now I want to talk about something that happened during this era. You said that what you were talking about was the presence of the Black father in the home to protect his wife and family. In 1943, in the state that you represent, in Florida, a young man named Willie James Howard, who was 15 years old, was lynched. During Christmas of 1943, Willie Howard sent cards to all of his coworkers at the Van Priest dime store in Live Oak, Florida. Unlike the other cards, Willie's card to Cynthia Goff, a white store employee, revealed a youthful crush. His greeting expressed hope that white people would someday like Black people, and concluded, "I love your name, I love your voice. For SH, sweetheart, you are my choice." After reading the card, Cynthia's father, Phil Goff, brought two friends to the Howard home and demanded to see Willie. Despite his mother's pleading, the men dragged Willie away and then kidnapped Willie's father, James Howard, from work. The men drove the two Howards, I should say, to the embankment of the Suwannee River, bound Willie's hands and feet, stood him at the edge of the water, and told him to either jump or be shot. Willie jumped into the cold water below and drowned while his father was forced to watch at gunpoint. Willie's dead body was pulled from the river the next day. You said that that during the Jim Crow era, the importance of having a Black man in the home was to protect his family and to protect his wife. I actually spoke with somebody who lived through Jim Crow. Her name is Merle Evers Williams. And Merle quoted to me a man named Charles Silverman, who wrote in Crisis in Black and White, that in 1890, the year that the Mississippi Constitution was written, the policy of crushing out the manhood of the Negro citizens was to be carried out with success. So the man in the home during Jim Crow had no rights, could not protect his wife from rape, could not protect his son from lynching. So again, why would you quote that era and say that at that time, the family all being in the home together was something we should think of as a good thing?
Well, first of all, Joy, the story you bring up and you're bringing up is a tragedy, one of the great tragedies of the Jim Crow era. This is why those policies were they were disgusting and distasteful. All I was talking about, Joy, was the benefit
of a man in the family. Again, sir, I'm sorry, I let you talk for a long time. Sorry, talk over you. You've gotten a chance to speak a lot, Congressman. You're going to answer my question now and not filibuster. This is the question you want. This is the question you need to answer.
That's what I'm trying to answer. That's what I'm trying to answer, Joy.
Give me a second. Take a breath. Take a breath. If a Black man could not protect. It's my show. If a Black man, a Black father, could not protect his wife, his son, or himself from lynching and violence, how is him being in the home mean that that is an era that was better for the Black family, or that we should think of as a good thing?
First of all, Joy, I never said that it was better for Black people in Jim Crow. I have never said that, and even my own words say that. If you're talking about the importance of Black fathers in the home, or frankly, all fathers in the home, it is always for the betterment of children, to have leadership, yes, for safety. So having two people in the home to help provide the economic needs for those children so the family can succeed. That is a wonderful thing. We should always get back to that, not to Jim Crow. And this is the point of the gaslighting and the lying that is occurring with what I said. Don't try to impose the fact that the marriage rates were better in the higher, I want to be clear, higher in the Jim Crow era to mean that I think Jim Crow is great. That is a lie. That is gaslighting. I would never say such a thing, which is why the Jim Crow era was destructive of Black people.
You brought it up. You're the one who brought it up.
All right. Well, that was the clip, guys. And my opinion on what Brian Donalds, is that his name? Brian Donalds did was what all Republicans do whenever they get asked questions or, told to explain what they mean by what their racist and extremist rhetoric, right? He deflected. He didn't own up to what he said. We all heard the tape of what he said. He was using Jim Crow as an era when Black families were together and Black people were more conservative. That's what he said. Like, that's an era to reflect back to and look at the Black family structure, and we should try to get back to that. That's exactly how he was talking. So Joy Reid did good by asking him to, explain why he used that era to try to express the Black family was better off then, right? Because that's what he was trying to say. But he didn't answer. She came up with an example of exactly why the Black father was not strong in the home at that time, with the example she gave with the father and son getting taken out of their house. The daddy was right there as the white men made his son drown. So Byron, like I said, he's a step and fetch. And this is what you got. And you got him on national TV as the image for Black people or Black men. And this is the sad part, is you're going to have dumbass ABC and Sarge and other step and fetches agree with what Byron Donalds said, even though you've seen that he could not own up to his own words in that video. But when he was behind closed doors talking to his group of people, he didn't have a problem reflecting back to Jim Crow. I'm just going to say this right here and then I'll shut up. As an African American, we should never reflect back to the times where lynching was authorized, White men was authorized to come into your house and do whatever the fuck they wanted to do to you. They was authorized to do whatever they wanted to do to black women. There was your rights was you didn't have full access to this system during Jim Crow. So there is never a time to reflect back. Even though let's say that you had 100% marriage in Jim Crow. What kind of marriage was that if white motherfucker could just come into your goddamn house? You had no power. That's just bullshit. It's crazy. But we hear this stuff on social media all the time where they're reflecting back to segregation and Jim Crow and all of these times where we know white people were being just extremely racist. But that's all I got to say.
But you know, Tyrone, I hear a lot of like the pro-blacks and stuff that they say that back when we had, I get where they're coming from, but they'll say things like, not pro-blacks, like the people who just die hard with it, because I think we are all pro-black. But when they make statements that when we were doing segregation, we had our own communities,
Yeah.
we had our own stores, we had our own this and that, and then they like to talk about Black Wall Street. As we know, the one in Tulsa, there were other Black Wall Streets, yes, there were, and they like to reminisce, and it was better for us. No, it wasn't. They were taxing the hell out of you, and you didn't have the rights and things to do all of the things that you should have been able to do that the white folks had privilege to do. So you're paying taxes to not be able to do the things that you want to do. The tax monies and different things like that was not going to help your neighborhoods where you had your own stores and where you had and your schools and things like that. I'm not going to discuss whether the education was different, whether it was level or whether it was equal or whatever. Most of the times it wasn't equal. But you're paying taxes, so you're willing to fork over money for taxes and not have the rights that other people do. You're willing to fork over taxes when you can't get government loans, not government loans, but government contracts and things like that to do the things. One of the things that helped to build what little we have of the black middle class. One of the things was the Civil Rights Act. When the federal government, these local governments were made to hire black people so they can get those jobs. And they could have benefits and have wages and things like that. That helped to build the middle class that we have. But I just don't understand. People just want to forget all of that, talk about when it was segregated, we were better. And I want to look at, like they say, the families. We were more of a family. And this dude, out your mouth talking about black families who's married to a white woman. So why is he speaking on that? I mean, and I'm not against interracial dating and interracial love. Be with whoever you want to be with. I don't care about that. But he's talking about the black families and husbands and wives and family. And you married to a white woman. And that's the crazy part. He's talking out 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sides of his mouth.
But Joy Reid did good. She did good with that.
She did good. But this is about reparations. Had the families all stayed together, everybody's marriage rates was through the roof during that time. Was it just ours? Was the white community, our community, or whoever else community was here in the States during Jim Crow? Marriage rates was higher during that time for everybody. But now, since we have moved on, the Civil Rights Act helped white women to move into jobs, the equal rights, and fairness. They got help the most from it. And now that we're living in an era where you don't need marriage to survive. You don't need, back in the day, you needed marriage to survive. You really did. You needed marriage to survive because you couldn't get a bank account, a credit card, a whole bunch of other things unless your husband signed off for it. But we're living now where people don't need to be married to survive. And y'all want to go back to that. And a lot of people are going to get upset with the next thing that's going to come out of my mouth. But when I see so many people, especially from our community, women too, I'm on both sides, sis, because a lot of women are against this too. but more so the men, but a lot of women too, that are against feminism, that are against feminists. This is what I don't get. I mean, you look back to the 60s and things like that. You look at certain black men who were educated, who were activists and things. They used to march in the feminist marches and stuff with those women. This is the thing that I don't get. The thing that has held us back since forever here in this country is patriarchy. But a lot of people, our communities, they ignore whose patriarchy. White male patriarchy.
Mm-hmm.
We live under their patriarchy. It's not just patriarchy. People say, oh, patriarchy. No, it's not just patriarchy. It's white male patriarchy. That's who we live at the behest of. We live under that. It's theirs. They make the rules. And feminism attacks patriarchy. It helps to weaken patriarchy. So you have groups of men over here trying to uphold the patriarchy that's not even yours. That makes sense. Feminism, women wanting equal rights. Feminism, if they don't want how it used to be, feminism weakens patriarchy. So why are you, a person of color, speaking against feminism? And just like I heard Dave Chappelle said, yeah, I'm a feminist. Because somewhere or another, he probably gets feminism helps weaken white male patriarchy. Why are you trying to uphold that? Why are y'all trying to help them? They don't need your help to uphold that. Why are you trying to uphold patriarchy? Why are you doing that? That's nonsensical. It doesn't make sense. But I'll be called all types of bitter bitches. Or this is that. She's a feminist. Yes, I am. Feminism helps to weaken patriarchy. That's what you should want. You should want to break patriarchy because it's not your patriarchy. It's white male patriarchy. And if we want to get things to the way that you hope they would be, that everybody's on an equal level, everybody is competing, is equal, we won't have no more need for civil rights and any of that.
Mm-hmm. And they're saying that they don't need it now. He's saying that we don't need all that. Everything is all good. We done passed that.
And because we don't have the black community don't have generational wealth, is because once Lyndon B. Johnson came along, we stopped with the family, so we were unable to build generational wealth. When that's a lie. We don't have generational wealth because our labor was stolen.
Never was compensated.
Never. But that's what he's trying to say. And then you have people out here going
like they
along
wrote a
with
check or some shit. They gave a big check later on and said, oh, okay, like what we talking about the reparations. Like they already did a reparations check to fix it, the inequality, and black folks were able to rebuild and get themselves on their feet, supposedly. That never happened. That never happened.
So we don't have generational wealth. And that's what he's trying to push, that we don't have it because it's our fault. We don't have generational wealth because it's our fault. And you have the people, these type of people out here this is what the Republican Party, this is how they want black representation to step in fast. Tyrone, it's the television playing, all kind of stuff is playing.
That might be me. Sorry, hold on. I'll mute myself. Okay.
Oh. But yeah, it's crazy. Everybody, if you're not.
I wonder who raised him. I would like to see his parents, to see if his parents agree, or his aunts and uncles, because he's a rare breed.
Well, he was probably raised. He was probably raised normally, but what happens is
he might have been raised white.
No, I'm saying that there's a conversion that happened with black people. They go through something, and all of a sudden they conservative. Because I got a cousin that was raised by my family, but he's a Trump supporter. It sounds just like Byron Donald. I don't know what happens.
Yeah,
something happens.
I have a couple too. And you sitting up there
I got
looking at them
family.
like, how you
Both
get
on
like that?
both on the Spanish side and on the black side. I don't know what the fuck happened to them.
See,
You
they
don't know
raised normal,
how
but something
that.
happens. I don't know what happens.
And when you try to point out things, like this past weekend when I was down south around a lot of family, when you try and that conversation came up, I wasn't shocked at the cousin who was like, "Well, I support Trump." I wasn't shocked by those particular people, but when you ask them why, they really can't say why.
No, they start
And then
repeating the
when you
same thing that you hear all the time.
yes, and when you throw some stuff their way, well, that's not true. Actually, what you said, I always say, don't take my word for it. Research it, Google it. Don't take my word for it. But it's this, that, and the third. And then they say, well, I don't care. When somebody say, I don't care. I'm still doing. You can't have a conversation with
Right.
them. You
Right.
can't because they say they don't care. You're just in that. You're just in that. But I wasn't surprised. But I think everybody's family has those people, and you wonder how they get like that. They grew up with you.
Right.
How you get like this? What happened?
I don't know. It must be it's that's a strong propaganda or indoctrination tactic that the right wing has because it's able to get people to follow them and commit to them like hard. I've never seen it. You would never get me to commit to anybody like that ever. I wouldn't do it.
Me either. Unless you got a gun in my head, I might. But other than that, no. And you're like, how you get like this? What happened? How come you think this way? When you throw some facts their way, they go, well, I don't care. Well, anyway, I'm gonna do. Okay. So just end the conversation.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened when ABC called in that one time, and he was trying to blame Joe Biden all for COVID and everything like that. And I just, kind of reminded him the virus was called COVID-19, and Donald Trump was the president when all of that shit happened. But that's exactly what he did. He was like, I don't care. We ain't talk about that.
So, but I don't care. I don't care. My sister-in-law, anyway, you put some facts to him. Well, anyway, I don't care.
Right.
Whatever. Okay, well, then, go ahead.
It was more important that people lost jobs. People lost jobs and lives.
So, it doesn't matter. Like, all the Fox News hosts, they all got the vaccine.
Yeah.
But like you said, Tyrone, but they was telling, because they had a mandate. They had to, their studio. But they were telling you not to get it. What kind of foolishness is that?
That's crazy. That's why if they didn't get vaccinated, that's why Sean Hannity said, "When I'm not going to answer that question because there's only one option. If you didn't get vaccinated, you would say no, I didn't get vaccinated. But if you did, you say, well, I'm not going to answer this question. That's private."
Because he don't want to answer it. Because if he working in that studio, he had to.
Yep.
All of them, Tucker Carlson, all of Trump got it. Trump's whole family got that vaccine. All of them got the vaccine.
And TV, he's a TV personality too.
And they telling y'all dumbasses, you don't have to. And that was the thing. You didn't have to get it if you don't want to. Take your chances. That's not a problem. But for them to tell you, they politicize it, telling you don't get it when they did.
Well, yeah.
That's what I have a problem with.
Just like Jay, I think Jay, I don't know if you got it or not yet, but if you didn't, fine by you. If you did, fine by you, right? But what you did whenever it was going on, you was hesitant. And you was like waiting, and you was like, I'm not getting it. I don't have it. And I was like, okay,
I didn't tell nobody to take it or don't take it.
No, exactly. And you wasn't, and you wasn't.
What you do.
Yeah, and you wasn't promoting these conspiracies about why you not taking it and all this kind of crap. You had your own reasons, which was personal, and that's fine.
Right.
But don't promote that bullshit.
You were supposed to be cautious. I was scared as I don't know what. I didn't want to get that thing. I was afraid. And I respected that you said I'm going to wait, because for those who wanted to wait and they wanted to be more cautious, they just wanted to wait to see after the millions get it. If not, too many of them drop dead. I don't have a problem.
Yeah, and you didn't have no pushback from nobody like me saying, "Ah, man, you scared? You a punk? Nothing," because you made up
No,
your own mind as an individual what you was gonna do with your body, and that is completely fine. You know.
that's fine. But how you gonna get the vaccine but out here telling other people don't? If you're gonna get the vaccine, you respect other people. If they say they're not going to, they want to take their chances. Fine. No one had to get it, but you took it, and you telling millions of people not to. That's the problem that I had. That's the problem that I had with that. And a lot of them people, they said, because when they did the numbers after the election, it was I think the numbers came out last year of the deaths that went on after the vaccine in the red states.
Right.
They killed off a lot of their people. They killed off. Remember, they put out the numbers.
Yep.
They killed off a lot of their people, and people who had comorbidities and things that was wrong with them, who probably should have taken a chance, but they didn't have to. And these people knew they had problems, and they were overweight, diabetes, all kind of, and they got the numbers back, and the numbers played out just like we thought they were. And some of these in the red states, in these highly red districts and stuff, and they got the numbers, and they had a lot more of their people died as a result of them politicizing this thing. And you have comorbidities. Maybe it's in your best interest to listen to the science, to listen to your doctor, or see what they says. Not Fox News, not Newsmax, not those people. Listen to what your doctor you've been going to for the longest, what he says, and then you make up your own mind. You don't have entertainers, or they said it's an entertainment show. Don't take advice from these people. Listen to your doctor. Listen to your family, and you make up your own mind. If you say I'm gonna take my chances, then that's okay. That's okay for you.
You guys are making this harder than it needs to be. Look, there's a whole lot of people out there that are socially awkward. They don't really have a whole lot of friends. They don't know how to make friends and maintain friendships. They're socially awkward. The internet becomes their friend. The internet becomes the place for them to go to. These conspiracy theories find a home in those folks who are most socially awkward, who don't know how to function very well in society or successfully in society. Look, ABC is that guy at your job that believes in the crazy shit you assign him to the far side of the building to get him away from y'all. You working over there today, and for the rest of the time, he's the guy at the family reunions that you really don't talk to a whole lot, because you know they're gonna come out with the crazy conspiracy theories. He's that guy, and they find a home in him because he is socially awkward, and he ostracizes himself from the norm. And so it's easy for them to pick up these things, and they consider these things alternative ways of thinking, but it's bullshit. So the current thing right now is this Terrence Howard stuff. You guys haven't talked about it yet, but I guarantee you it's coming. Terrence Howard has a whole slew of people out there that he is convinced that 1 × 1 equals 2. And if you listen to his explanation for this, he has a whole lot of folks that are nodding their heads saying, yeah, that's right. The math I've been taught that the whole world is based on is wrong. Here's an actor telling me 1 × 1 is 2, and that makes sense to me. So we're living in those times now, where those folks, that basically are, socially awkward and find themselves listening to YouTube and all these other things like that to entertain them and to entertain and to I guess you could say acknowledge them. They are believing this crazy stuff. My suggestion: go listen to that Terrence Howard interview with Joe Rogan. It'll blow your mind. And he has people believing he's some kind of genius. Yeah. But those are the folks who this stuff appeals to. This is why ABC always says, "Oh, Tyrone and his gang of sycophants and all that." He ain't got no friends. When you have no friends, the internet is your friend, and the internet will tell you anything.
It's just
Yeah, I agree 100% with what you said. And those folks at Fox News, they did get vaccinated. I don't know about Tucker Carlson because that interview with Ice Cube, he said he wasn't vaccinated, but I think that he was lying because he had to go to work
I
at
think it was
Fox,
too.
and Fox made sure them people got vaccinated
Of course
because
he lying. That's he lying.
Rupert Murdoch had caught COVID, and then of course he wanted his people to keep working. So
Think about this, right? Think about this. They tell you about the vaccine, but they take it, right? Again, this is an entertainment channel. I know as they call themselves Fox News. We actually have a Fox 5 channel in New York, and they have a news hour that is, between early in the morning, which they call Good Day New York, but that's not really called Fox 5 News. It's really Fox 5 News at 10 o'clock. And they really give you the news. It's regular news. It's nonpartisan, if you want to say, and they just giving you the news. Fox News cable channel is an entertainment channel with some news in it. It has some news, and then they do a lot of shows. But let me tell you, they were one of the main channels that was talking about democratic cities. Remember that they're going to hell and that they're unsafe and this, that, the other, right? So why is Fox 5, or not Fox 5, why is Fox News headquarters in New York City? Why is it that they keep talking shit about New York and they're smack right in the middle of New York City talking about, it's going downhill. So why don't they move their headquarters to a Republican state, Republican city? I'm just trying to figure that out. Newsmax, the same thing. Newsmax, you guys got a headquarters here in New York City. Why the hell, if this is the most dangerous city and it's going downhill and this, that, everything bad about a democratic city, yet you guys have a headquarters here where y'all do y'all shows, broadcast, and y'all safely in an office downtown making all that money? I'm just trying to question that. I don't understand. And you would say that, well, let's go to a Republican state, Republican city that embraces us and let us in, right? Because y'all not safe here. Y'all safe in the middle of Manhattan. That y'all have people that are, you got people in New York City that are Republican as well, mostly Democratic here, but you have Republicans, but it's dominated by Democrats. The Democrats is not bombarding and surrounding your news channel and freaking out and doing anything to get y'all asses out. Yet y'all still talking about, this is an unsafe city, and democratic cities are going downhill, and why should everybody's leaving? Fox News, again, Fox News has not left New York City, and they have not announced that they're leaving their headquarters, which they broadcast all that shit that they're talking about right from New York. Something to think about.
It is true, because they're lying. There's the people, they don't believe most of the stuff that they're saying. Because I can think of this black woman. She's a journalist, and she's also an author. Several books, for a lot of autobiographies for different people. She has a channel on YouTube. Very good information she puts out. And they were talking about the people over there on Fox News. And I think I told this last week, no, week before last. I'm not sure if I did. And she was at the Anita Baker concert. And this was so funny when she told it. She said some years back, she was at Anita Baker's concert, and she was up near the front. And she said in the row, directly in front of her, Bill O'Reilly was in the front row singing "Sweet Love." I know all the words.
Well, he was twisting around. He was doing the twirl.
And he was sweet.
Sweet love.
And he knew all the words.
Snapping his fingers.
But you would not think that he would be into that type of music and the type of rhetoric that they push. These people are lying to you. Just like
they lying.
Trump, people say he's the most racist person on the planet. He's a bigot. Yes, he was. He's a little bigot. His family is a bigot. But he was generally friends with black people and different things like that. He wanted to be friends. He wanted these people to like him. Those people is lying. They're lying to the truth. But they hateful and bigoted too. But these people are not who you think they are.
No, they lying because they know they got idiot. They got idiots out there that are following him.
Believe that.
Yeah, because Trump's numbers, his base has always been around 30%. So there's of the Republican voting party, not 30% of America. But there's always this core group of people that is so stupid that they will follow any damn thing, and that's that 30% that Trump keeps in his base.
Yep. And they keep them strong.
Welcome to the grip.
These people. Yeah, welcome to the grip. You're right. You're absolutely right. These people are not. And Tucker Carlson himself, beat him too. A lot of that stuff that come out of his mouth, he don't believe any of that. And you do to think that the base would have realized that when they put his text messages out there and all that trash talking he was doing about Trump, calling him stupid and dumb, and how he despised him, and he can't wait till he go away. Did the base pay any attention to that? No.
Well, Trump is the biggest liar of them all. He's the big. You remember when that Russian thing came out, dossier about him sleeping with, hookers in Russia and peeing on the bed, and then everybody was saying, "Nah, he wouldn't do that because he's a germaphobe." Well, you just got found guilty for sleeping with a porn star. Do you know how many been up in that? You know how many people been up in that woman? What happened to the germaphobe? He's a freaking
in public.
Yeah,
in public,
he's a liar.
In public.
Who's this unknown caller?
Big OC.
What's up, Big OC? But yeah, but since he's a germaphobe, they not even take into account that he just got found, held accountable, and used the porn star that he slept with, two of them, Karen McDougal. He got found guilty on all of that crap.
What are you saying? Cut to this chase.
He's not a germaphobe.
No, wait. He got down and dirty, huh, Tyrone? He got down and dirty. He's supposed to be squeaky clean, and he got down and dirty.
Knowing that she's a porn star, and knowing what porn stars do in movies,
in public,
in every hole that they got on screen. On screen.
No, and every man has mostly everyone seen them.
Go ahead.
And Trump looked like the kissing type too. He looked like the kissing type.
He's a liar. That's my point. But what's up, Big OC?
Chilling, man. All I want to add real quick is, as much as Trump has made this, some people take it serious, some people don't. And I believe the people that don't take it serious, they still get a vote. And if they say, I'm just going to go to the side that seems more fun, like they have a better time, more enthusiasm, it's the Republican side, even though it's all based on a bunch of bullshit. They just seem like they, doing more shit talking, having more fun than the other side. Because now you got Democrats out there parroting all that same shit that Joe Biden's dead and somebody else is running the country. He can't even put his sentence together. It's like, I don't know why people keep doing that. Even on the Democrat side, they do that too, just to, just
no
to
way.
sound funny. Everybody wants to sound funny. You ain't heard it?
No. Jesus Christ.
Just so they're just saying anything now just to be funny, about Joe Biden being old and, he's just, he's going through dementia. He can't make decisions. If that's the case, and I'm Joe Biden, you know what I do? I come out tomorrow and say, you know what? I'm pardoning my son. Fuck all y'all. and be done with it and keep it fucking moving.
Yeah.
Because they already killing him right now. They already trying to get on him. He should just say it and just kill the whole news cycle. Kill it. Just say, Hunter Biden's pardon.
That's what I was saying earlier. I mean, shit. If I was Hunter Biden, I'd be mad as hell. Because nobody has ever went to federal court on the charges that Hunter Biden got for having a gun while he was on drugs. Nobody. He the first one in history.
What it is, when you go in and buy a gun, the motherfucker be looking at you like, you want any kind of drugs? And I mean, like, man, what the fuck you asking me that for? But I guess you have to. And I guess right there he said no. And he probably had just smoked a boulder. And
But I'm saying, Big OC, how often do you think that happens in America? Are you trying to tell me that every gun owner in America don't do drugs?
I go into the weed stores. I go into the weed store smell like. I mean, I go into the gun store smell like weed, man.
Yeah,
So
I mean, come
as
on.
soon as he asked me, I look at him dead in the face, be like, "Nah, I don't do nothing."
Exactly.
Knowing I stink.
Yeah.
Knowing
So
I stink.
so this whole trial with Hunter Biden is some bullshit, and Joe Biden do have the authority to pardon him. But if he did that,
He probably
it,
If he
will.
did nothing.
the right wing would lose their freaking mind, and that's what they scared of.
But he
Well, he should
probably,
do it.
if he loses, I'm sure he'll pardon Hunter. F him, wouldn't you? I would do it too.
I would pardon him.
If I win,
Yeah.
I would pardon him. If we're mad at me, I would just do it. But win or lose, I'm pardoning him. So just say, son, go ahead on through with the trial. I got you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what I would do. At this point, what difference it makes?
Yeah, Joe Biden worried about them poll numbers and the news cycles.
Yeah.
Because they would run that 24 hours a day on Fox News and even on the mainstream media about how favoritism and Hunter Biden and his daddy and all this kind of bullshit.
I ain't dug deep into that border thing. What was Biden proposing? Because there's been some rattlings about that. I didn't pay attention to what he was proposing to do on the border.
I didn't pay any attention either. He closed it or something. Whatever he did.
Well, I think it was like over 4,000 people a day was coming through, and he wanted to get the numbers down to like 1,500 a day coming through. So he closed the border or signed an executive order to close the border.
You know that election coming too. But he got to do what he got to
for
do.
real, though?
At some point, they had to do something about it. It's not like nobody
real,
said
though,
that we didn't have to do nothing.
I want to go. Man, I honestly want to go see where the fuck these people coming in at, man. Because I live in Cali, and I've been on our southern border down there, and there's hundreds of thousands of cars that go in and out, every single day from that southern border. I just want to see where these 4,000 people are coming in every day. Where they coming in at? That's a lot of heads.
Somewhere in Texas, I guess.
In at?
So they just
just
coming
wanna see
across
it.
and staying, or are they?
I guess I don't know
go back?
I don't know the ins and outs of them, but that's what they claiming.
Yeah, I want to see it, and then the boy. Like I said, I want to see it. I want to see where this
I would
is,
like
man.
to see that too.
How this shit's
If
happening.
that many people coming across, I want to see it too.
Every day.
If that many people
Every day.
Every day, yeah. I want to see it too.
And where are they going you know what I'm saying? All them people are waking up every day somewhere different. So you say in a week we got 20,000 people sitting
That's
here
a lot of damn people, ain't it?
that wasn't here yesterday.
That's
what I'm saying, man.
It is. That's a lot of people. That's more than a lot of. Where all them people going?
Well, that might have been political too. Yeah, go ahead.
I wonder why they coming here. New York is the most expensive city in the country. It's tough for people who grew up here, and they still coming here. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. You're going to go to the most expensive place in the U.S. with no skills, no plan, nothing? I mean, damn. It just blows my mind. Like, you couldn't figure something a little better than this,
Well, even though you say that, man, I think America, even if it's New York, is a lot better than where they're coming from.
Yeah, but they can't afford it.
I don't know.
They coming to take them jobs in the stock market, Joe. You know that.
Oh, yeah, right.
I mean,
they coming to get
they
them jobs
see,
on Wall
and that's
Street.
another thing. Talking about that, as you say, I know you being funny, is that mostly the ones that are taking those downtown business jobs, like Wall Street suit types, is white Europeans. I don't see a bunch of Hispanics or black people.
No.
Overtaking the downtown corporate world. I see if you walk down Wall Street or any of those streets where there's business going on, predominantly white people in suits. A lot of them ain't even white American. They're actually Europeans that are here. So y'all not complaining about the ones that are taking the corporate positions over here for big companies that are international or decide that they want to bring in somebody from outside when they can have somebody here. Think about that. You know what I'm saying? Those are high position, high paid jobs that they're overlooking. Again, you go around any city in America, most of the downtown areas where the money is flowing and people are in suits, corporate buildings, predominantly white.
White folks.
In New York City, a lot of Europeans. I see Asians too, but I don't see this influx of, like Mexicans or South or Central Americans in suit and ties taking over corporate America here in New York City. I don't. They work in the small jobs.
Hey, Cali,
same with
downtown
like
LA,
DC.
same thing. Same
thing,
downtown
right?
LA, man.
You see? And you on the other side, that goes to show you.
And DC's the same thing. I mean, we have
Look at that.
We have a good bit of black people in DC, but you don't see them. You don't see that. That's not who's getting them jobs.
I mean, it's Mexicans taking over Capitol Hill.
There's enough
the thing I don't quite understand is,
don't need y'all.
Yeah. How come these states like North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Idaho don't take these people in? Because
they got plenty of space.
Because your congressional, but even more than that, your congressional presence is based on your population. The more people you have, the more congressional seats you have.
Right,
so you would think like those states that have low populations would be like, we need more congressmen, so let's get more population. Come on, y'all. We got farms here, we got ranches here, and you can work with pretty much no skill, and
then they get their vote. Right.
Hey, Joe, to give you something on that, I was in Wyoming, right, in a place called Jackson Hole, right, during ski season. And there's a lot of Hispanics that they bring in during the ski season to work all them hotels, and they the bars up in these hotels, and they do all that shit up there during ski season. And when that's done, the motherfuckers are headed back to wherever it is they came from. So they're definitely important men. Then I also spent some time in Idaho, and if you know, Idaho has a large, what were those people, Nigerian or Ethiopian? Like they just planted them right there, just put them right here, boom, and you just see a gang of colored folks, but they all congregate around their one African church. But they do pop some of these immigrants in these strategic places. And, they just go along and get along, but they kind of stick to themselves. But they're there. But them states still ain't really playing that shit.
It hasn't grown like that.
No. They just haven't grown yet, but they there. They definitely there.
They need to leave them people alone. The United States shouldn't have fucked up their damn country. They wouldn't be running from shit and put them down.
There's a lot of, we talk about ghosts. We got ghost towns around America, Middle America, Northern America. Like there's just towns that there's nothing. Is the industry's left. I always say that. You don't want to see them, let them build their own town. Give them the training, let them build the town, and let them contribute to paying taxes. And like what Joe said, now they could vote for the white Republican that's going to help them empower at least their state.
Well, that's how the immigrants getting screwed, because they do pay taxes, but they can't file no return. So they kind of it's a one-way thing with them.
You gotta have something to complain about. That's all. I guess that even though, like I said, like you said, they're ending up in places at some point where it's gonna help the white community or the white state. They still hate them, but they love them. They love them to do the cheap labor. They love them to vote for them, but they don't love them because they're from somewhere else.
Right. When we really gonna dig into big business are the people that are really hiring all these illegals?
See, that's the conversation that need to be had right there, because they working somewhere for somebody, for some company.
Exactly.
So we don't never talk about the business owners that's hiring these people.
No,
especially our food. Our food. They don't even want to pay the FDA. They would talk about the Food Administration. They don't even want to pay regular people to put more adequate people to inspect the food, because they said they need more people. Right? So they put these people in those industries to be doing those jobs. Maybe not the inspection part, but the packaging up. And you see in most of the agriculture, even meat. A lot of them eaters they in the factories, man. You might see the white man somewhere there, with the cows and the sheep, but who's processing all that shit is them. They paying them. Is the white man hiring them? Why white man is hiring the person that they said that is taking over America?
You're absolutely right. And the corporation.
And the motherfuckers are still voting. I'm gonna go ahead.
Right. Because here in the DMV, they got all of the fast food. They got that on lock. And there used to be high school jobs. Not anymore. They got the fast food on lock in the DMV.
I'm gonna tell you what happened. You know what happens is
they bought into the franchise.
People come to California. They come to California and they see how them goddamn McDonald's be chucking them out. The Mexicans be in there getting it done, and they be like, okay, they go back to down south. They go down south somewhere in Shaniqua and Pam.
They
got their hair done and they long nails and they conversation.
Don't say that. Don't say that. That's not true.
Like, can I get my orders? Like, hold on, I'm talking.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's not all the time. Listen, that's not all the time. You know that. But the whole point is that they looking for people that's not gonna ask questions, that's not gonna question the shit and go be robots. Let's be real. They want robot type people. Straight up. Work for cheap. Even if you do it. Even if Shanique was doing her job, right? They still got to pay Shaniqua. No, they still got to pay Shaniqua that minimum wage, right? And they're hating that. So they said if we got to pay, if we can pay Jose, or Juan, $5, they're gonna get him, and he ain't gonna ask no questions. He's not gonna ask about a raise. He ain't nothing.
There ain't gonna be no crazy niggas coming up in the parking lot. Ain't nobody gonna be talking crazy outside in front of the store.
Right.
They ain't gonna have a nigga up there. The kids ain't gonna come up in there.
Don't say that. See how you talking about our people? It's true though.
Yeah, he telling the truth. I see some places like that.
We just keeping it real because you see it and you sit back and say, "Man, them Mexicans coming and they gonna get y'all out of the fuck up out of here." Right?
I love my folk though, but you telling the truth.
He's right. He's telling the truth, but we shouldn't not publicly talk about them like that.
No, they need to be talked about too. So I don't know what else.
No. Because in the South, you do see more black people working in the fast food. You bring your tail to the DMV, they got it on lock. The Spanish, they got it on all the positions. All the fast food, the McDonald's, Burger King. Now you will see some black people at Kentucky Fried Chicken a little bit, but they got the rest of them on lock. They do, and that's true. They have it on lock. But in the South, you do see black people still working there.
Yeah, Mike Epps did a joke. Mike Epps did a joke, right? He said, he's like, you got to watch the Mexicans. He's like, they be watching your ass when you at work, paying attention to your schedule and shit. You call off. You call off too much. They be telling
so they're gonna call in. They're gonna fill that in.
Like A1, soon you're gonna get a job here. Leroy's always calling out sick. The Mexicans is watching y'all.
If you go to fast food here, it's all East Indian. All East Indian, man.
Yeah, Subway, especially Subway.
Yeah. Subway, Popeyes too. Yeah, they serving that chicken, or it's Arabs, because Arab, one of the biggest weed store owners is a Yemenite guy. I found out that's from Yemen. A rich dude from Yemen owns all these fake weed spots.
Those little corners.
So let me ask y'all this, since y'all on this conversation, and I don't know why, but do y'all know why all the gas stations are owned by Indian people? Like, what is that? Like every gas station that. Well,
you talking about like
like the mini marts, like the pantries and
I don't think they own them things though.
Oh,
it's kind of like it's kind of like out here, right?
Subways.
Where I'm at, for a minute, it used to be all Asians running the liquor stores and shit. And then it seemed like they just handed it off to the Arabs. Like, okay, y'all hear? All the stores turned into an Arab owner. Like I know why it was all Asian.
But why it's never no black owners? I don't get that. Like, I don't.
Probably a lot of shit that you gotta deal with. I think that is also established. You gotta have money. You gotta have money to buy into that, and it's almost like a franchise, but on a bigger level. I think that because what gas station that you go to has its own Indian name or some shit. Now,
no, it's all franchise. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they buy into there, and I think that they come from money. These are the Indians that have money, and then what they do is they get the low workers, they get family members, they get maybe people from their country or
and
people
they
from
all
here
work
that are gonna.
Right.
And again, not everybody's probably getting the same shit. I mean, the top of the totem pole is somebody that funded it, right? Got all the connections, and then he brings in all the other people, his people, but he's paying them low wages too. They ain't getting paid good money.
They not, but see, look at it this way. Like a couple of the Exxons and the Sunoco's and stuff that's near me, like they have the mini mart and the gas station. And I know I talk to a lot of them. They own the mini mart, or they the owners of the mini mart. But one of them not going at the mini mart. It's two brothers, two families. They own the mini mart, but they tell you the gas station part, they don't own that.
So they could own the actual shop where they sell all the goods or whatever, but that the actual gas petroleum thing they
belong to the oil companies or something, probably.
Or maybe get a piece of it.
Yeah, they own the mini mart, and it'll be 2 or 3, because that's what they said. We don't own that section over there. We just own the mini mart. And if it's a garage, like they have a garage attached, they'll own that. And sometimes that's split in 2. The mini mart,
like
they
a car
own that.
repair.
Yeah, and somebody else owns the
do a
car
small
repair,
check
but the gas part, they say we don't own that part. But because they all there together. So I was just always wondering how they able to do that, or how is that done. But I guarantee you, they will own the mini mart. They'll own that part for the garage. A lot of Ethiopians own the garages. I see like they have them split in 2. You have the Arabs own the mini mart, or vice versa. The Ethiopians, if they have a garage on this one, they own that. In the gas, like if something go wrong at the pump, they'll tell you. We don't own that. We run it, but if y'all have a problem, like if it's like if the air and all that different things in the pump, if things mess up, they have said we don't own that part, just the mini mart. So I don't know what kind of setup they got going on.
Yeah, because I ain't hardly never seen a black person even working at the goddamn gas station.
You don't,
man.
I mean, you don't see no owners. Like you said, no owners. You don't really see owners either. Like I haven't seen no black owner of a gasoline station. Maybe managing it, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, managing it, but the owner, nah, I haven't seen that yet. And I haven't even seen a Mexican. I haven't seen no Mexican be the owner of a gasoline station. He might be working there, he might be managing, but he's not the owner.
Nah, the Mexicans, they actually they'll come up with their own painting company, they'll come up with their own construction company, landscaping, and then they blow up pretty good down here.
Be illegal as a motherfucker, but end up working on your house.
Well, but no, the company owner,
$30,000 a month.
The company owner, he's got to be
legit.
Yeah, but he of course he know his buddy that just came through the breach. He gonna hire them.
And they hire their own. I don't know how the corporations, all these fast food restaurants, and y'all right, the Subway, the Subway sandwich shop, it's usually Arabs in our area. If they're not Arab, then they like Ethiopian. They got those on lock, the Subway. And it's Latino.
And they be old too. They be grown people.
Yeah, they be grown
adults.
Grown people. Not no young people, grown.
Yeah.
And the Latinos got McDonald's and Burger King. and Taco Bell. They got all of them on lock. And I'm like, where did
Oh yeah, they got fucking Roscoe's Chicken and Waffle on lock, and you looking at that, you gonna see Jose, Hector back there frying that goddamn chicken and making them goddamn cheese eggs.
There you go.
I don't know where the teenagers, like when they got all of it. And where do the teenagers work nowadays? Because when I was a teenager, I worked at McDonald's. And other friends, they would work at like Bojangles and places like that. They got all those places on lock. It's amazing to see how that was done. Amazing to see that. But you see a lot of young people working at CVS and Walgreens, like the farmers, the drugstores.
Yeah.
I see them in the grocery stores around here. A lot of the youngsters working at the grocery stores.
I see them in the grocery stores, the supermarkets and stuff. You still see them there. But fast food, they took that over a long time ago.
Yeah, because fast food don't want nobody that got too much shit going on. Kids need to get off of the school dance. I got to graduate. I got to do this. I got to do that. I'm like, no, Jose can be here all goddamn day, all goddamn night. I ain't got to pay no overtime, no double. He ain't going to ask.
And they coming to work.
I ain't got to worry about his mom coming up here.
Fussing, yeah, because my mother would be up there, something go wrong, she used to be up there fussing. And like on Fridays, I have to deal with that, with these black mothers and the white ones too, because we had a mixture of white and black that was working for the fast food. Everybody mother up there getting on the manager about something. They don't have, my mother did, my father did too. But the Latinos, they don't have that going on. They be glad to have those jobs and collect that check. Oh.
Yeah, they just need to fix our immigration. I don't know why. What is so difficult about fixing it? But for some reason, it's been decades and it's been broken. So I don't.
Corporations don't want it fixed. The corporations don't want it fixed.
And I think the numbers do good by the government too, whether it's a Republican or a Democrat. So they full of shit from the right, talking about they don't want no immigrants here.
They do, because like you keep reading all the articles about the birth rates is down. So they were saying if they cut off immigration, we might not have enough people like when we all get to be like ready, like older, like our parents' age. You need the younger people to work and pay into the system, so to help support the older people with their Social Security and stuff. And they were saying a certain down the line, we're not going to have enough people to do that, especially if they cut off immigrants, because Americans, and it doesn't matter the race, they're not having children. So our numbers are down, the black community. The white community's numbers is down, way down. The Asian numbers has dropped, and you know whose numbers theirs has dropped, but they're leading everybody in birth rates. The Latino. They're leading everybody in the birth rate.
Oh yeah.
Well, you heard about what happened in Japan, right?
What happened?
Yeah, I heard about Japan. Their birth rate's way down.
Way down. Like it's a national emergency now, and the government is getting into the dating business.
What, they don't want to have babies over there?
No,
I don't know.
Young women, the younger generation, especially women, they don't want to get married and settle down and have babies. Same thing in South Korea, but it's dangerously low in Japan now. They're not interested in marriage and babies. They're just not interested in that. And they're trying to pay the people to give them incentives. But see, this is the thing in the United States. If you're so concerned about the birth rates being down, when the people were begging for the child tax credit, you didn't want to give it to them. You didn't want to give them child tax credits, which would help the families and stuff like that. But you want people to have children. And children are expensive. And people can't afford them.
No, not today. They can't. Jesus, these prices are sky high. I was just talking
You
about
can't
earlier
afford to
how
have
how
them.
how they got $50,000 cars. Now I never thought I'd see that. 50,000, $100,000 cars. That's crazy.
I mean, shit, they got $1 million cars.
That's nuts.
But they have to make it. They have to give more incentives to people to have children, to create a family and have children. But in the states, you don't want to have a national health care system. You don't want to give the child tax credit. The Republicans, because they
A
want to do
better
away with Social
education.
Security so bad. You don't want to put no money into education, and whatever else that it takes to give people incentives to want to have children. And you don't want to do that. And you allow the corporations to allow inflation to be sky high when it doesn't have to be as high as it is. People can't afford, but you want people to have children. This is a thing that the right is doing now. Because Trump said it in one of his hate rallies last week that you have fighting age uh, fighting age males, immigrants coming across the border. And we were saying because they're talking about that they're going to impregnate white women, and they're going to build an army within by impregnating white women. Well, if that were true, well then y'all should have one arsenal in your bag. You done kick abortion to the curb. So what you gonna do? I mean, it's just such crazy stuff, and people are believing this. They're believing this that they're gonna come and impregnate white women and build an army with them. Well, the white women, they can't tell them no. I mean, the stuff they pushing is the stuff that they scan the people up with is crazy.
Yeah, I think like y'all saying, if they invest in the economy and give people better living conditions, better wages,
Yeah.
people have babies, and they have a
Yes, they
reason to.
would.
They would have a reason to want to have a family. As long as they keep
Yes, they
trying to screw
would.
people over, there ain't nobody trying to have no baby, and because it sucks struggling
Yeah,
economically.
and the thing is, now people wouldn't have as many children as they used to back in the day. If people had more children, a family
Yeah,
had more children, they wouldn't have as many anymore. But people, they're opting not to bother with it at all, and that's why the numbers are dangerously low in like Japan, and it's bad in South Korea.
Mhm.
People, I want to work, I want my career. I'm not trying to settle down and have these kids.
And Europe, white
Europe too,
Europe,
yes,
white ass Europe,
yep,
white ass
them too.
Europe. And they complain.
But
Look,
we can't.
look at the irony, as they say, right? They also complaining about immigrants. They complain about Middle Eastern, the people coming from Africa. Yet
Yep.
their generation, their white European generation, the older people, there's more older people over there, and the young people want to do different things. They don't want to do those regular jobs and the farming and all that, like at the amount that they used to back then. So the older generation of Europeans, those people are older, and what they used to do, the new generation or now generation don't want to do
Don't want to do
most of
that.
those things. So they have to fill those jobs. So here you have all this influx of immigrants, and people are complaining, oh, they're going to take away our country. Yet they need to fill those jobs. Again, they're known for wines and cheeses and shit. A lot of Europeans of this generation don't want to be dealing with that. So how do you deal with that? How do you integrate people and keep it still, yeah, you keep it your country, but how you welcome the people, make your where they invest in it in the sense of putting their work in, contributing into the country, and you guys benefiting from it, but also not just basically abusing these people. So I'm just saying they got the same issues as we do here. A lot of these generations don't want to have babies. They want to not now. They don't want to get married. They just want to have fun. They want to do whatever they're doing. They got different type of careers, and this is happening around the world, mostly in
All around.
the places that we name, and how are we going to adjust to that? And sometimes, it's easy to, point fingers and make some type of, assumption. Say, oh, well, it's this, because we frustrated. But again, look into it. It's happening around the world. But then the complaint is, well, we got immigrants coming here. Yeah, but they're going to do the job that you don't want to do or your kids don't want to do, right? Your kids don't want to have babies. So you're saying that it's getting overflowed, but you're not having babies. So, I mean, what is it? It's an argument that is just, it just is a circle, It's just, you're running in circles. I don't know.
It is. The people, the newer generation, my generation, the newer generation, the next generation, they don't want to do the things that people used to do. And getting married, having babies, working a farm, or different things like that. They just don't want to do that anymore. And technology was one of the things that caused that played a role in that. People just don't want to do it. And you're not giving incentives, especially in the United States. They're not giving at least Japan trying to figure it out, give incentives and different things like
They'll
that.
Pay you. They'll pay you. It's like, come over here.
Yeah, and South Korea, and I think some of the European countries are offering certain incentives and different things like that. United States ain't offering jack, but you want people to have these babies that they can't afford.
Yep.
So.
Yet complaining that the population is decreasing, though the white American population. So I mean, again, to me, it's like is a circle, is dancing around like Sarge likes to do.
Well, I mean, it ain't their damn country anyway, so maybe the Native Americans will come back on the rise or something.
I doubt it. I doubt it because their numbers is real small.
Yeah.
And our numbers is decreasing. Our numbers, Black America, our numbers here are decreasing too.
Yep, the Mexicans just passed us. I remember we was 13% of the population, and I think they're like maybe 15 or something like that now.
Well, they having the babies. They doing what white America asked for.
Yeah, they having the babies, and the Black community's not having babies like we used to. You still have some. You see some people though, but we're not having babies like we used to either. That's a good and bad thing. I don't know.
Yeah, they passed us. White America is 59%, and the Hispanics is at 18%, and we're at 12.6%, and the Asians is 5.9%. And we just stay right there around that 13%. There's somebody causing our numbers not to grow. I don't know what it is. I don't know, but we've been 13% for a long time. But the Asians, the Hispanic, the Hispanic just come over here and they just shot off. They was below us one time. Now they're 18%.
They were, but not anymore.
I think a lot of them too. They're trying to get that ink, that they want that baby to have that American citizenship too.
Yeah, they do. But Tyrone, one of the answers is, two of the answers. Where the Black community is not having children like they used to. We don't. It is the truth. And now that they have changed the things on the census, that one drop, the one drop rule.
Yeah.
A lot of people aren't classifying themselves as Black anymore. They're checking off other boxes. So that played a role too. If you're mixed race or biracial, they're not checking the Black. They're not checking Black, Black, African American, non-Hispanic. They're not checking that box anymore. They're checking because they got other boxes out there, mixed race, all kind of stuff. So that helped take away from the numbers too. And then we're also not having babies like we used to.
Well, yeah, I mean that would kind of put a biracial family in a little pickle there, huh? So what would they what race would their children choose?
Mixed race. Well, if you look at the census and them boxes and things like that for government forms and stuff, they have different boxes. They have like mixed race, and they'll have like biracial. They have it all down there. Mixed race, not Black. Or they have more boxes now, and more people who used to check the Black American or African American box, they no longer check that because they have options to check other boxes now. So that led to a decrease as well. one drop rule. A lot of people, they ain't going by that anymore, and they shouldn't. That's where we at. Our numbers, we laughing, but our numbers aren't great either.
So you saying the white demographics is dwindling, huh? They kind of dying down.
Yeah, because they're not producing babies. Their birth rate is lower than ours. But the Hispanic is highest. The whites, their birth rate is lower than ours. And with the Asians, their population isn't that large. But yeah, the whites birth rates throughout Europe is down. I never checked to see what it was on the continent. I guess I need to check that. I don't know. But I know throughout Europe, the white birth rates is down all over the place. And they are afraid of that.
Well, I mean, shit. They took this land from people. I don't. They're originally from Europe, so maybe they need to go back over there.
Well, it's coming to bite them in the behind. What they pushed out, I guess with California, they coming to claim their, even subliminally, like they just claim they coming back. But I mean, I think America, if they really wanted to stop it, they could have. They could have put tight rules from the beginning. I mean, listen, you only have one half black president, right? And mostly of the government is, in the Congress is majority white people. We know that, right? So this been for years. You telling me that they could have not fixed that if they so racist and they hate immigrants taking over? Okay, it wasn't that bad 20, 30 years, but it's been growing, and they saying it's been a problem. Why they've been tackling this from the beginning, Republicans and Democrats. Like, this should be a no-brainer. We don't want no more people here to infiltrate or to take over. We don't want more, the population of Hispanics growing more than the white European, because we see that we're decreasing. Like right now they're putting the brakes on it. I mean, come on. Like, I don't understand it. They love it. They hate it. Again, they still haven't changed the wages for average Americans to survive here and live a decent wage and not worry about their bills every month. People living to paychecks. We should eliminate that whole stress for U.S. citizens, but yet we haven't. So to me, it's just a game that they play, and again, point the finger over here, point the finger there. Never really tackle the problem when they could both come together if they're really serious about this problem. Especially because, again, Democrats and Republicans are dominated by white Americans here. So if they really care about Hispanics becoming the more popular, race here or whatever in America, or infiltrating itself and taking over, they can stop that shit. They could have stopped it. Like, come on. Or make more babies.
Well, y'all, I done been on here long enough. I appreciate it. Elisa J,
Me
Joe,
too.
Big OC. YouTube, if y'all want to join the call, y'all call in to the conference call. I'm gonna open it up.
Q&A session is over. All participants are unmuted.
And Jermaine and ABC been rubbing each other in the chat room tonight, so I hope both of y'all satisfied now. All right, guys, I'll talk to y'all later.
All right.
Yeah, I'll talk to you guys next week.
All right. Thank y'all too. Thank y'all for having the show.